It's on the counter somewhere.
I see you've expanded your bathroom.
Hi, welcome to D&D. I'm glad you're here to watch me and Becca's.
Yeah, the stream right now is Becca doing her hair and Michael eating a popsicle.
Who doesn't want to watch that? Ah! You're gonna scare the ants out.
Hey, where'd you put that D6?
Hi. Let me go ahead and put a little spoiler warning out for you. A little precursor information. I should talk into the microphone. If anyone squeals and screams, aka if I squeal and scream, it's because there's ants on the table.
Not just regular ants, they're like monster giant carpenter ants.
And they're bringing their babies with them. They're carrying little larvae. So, you know, when the screams happen, you, the internet, have been warned.
Now we're back.
To make it even scarier.
What the fuck is going on down here?
They're falling from the fan. They're raining.
They're just straight up a stool, just wrapped up in wires. You got dirty feet.
I think that was vacuumed.
Are we good?
I got it.
Shane's not okay.
Are we cooked?
Oh, I'm not. Okay.
I've been listening to a lot of my.
I'm not.
Sure.
I like my
Anthony, your chair.
I did get.
I didn't know that was a thing.
No, this is your chair. I don't care whose chair it is. Just put it over there. It's somebody's chair.
It's for a porky person.
I can't wait till you guys go and the whole crowd smells like Bengay because all the seed kills.
Wow, listen.
I was going more on lines that there's a mass suicide.
Oh, I was gonna say Tiger Bomb. I felt like that was
man.
Yeah.
Too Asian.
There are much more emo and much more sad bands out there.
I got invited to Nickelback and I nicely said, like, I'll go if you really want to. And he said yes. And now I'm
It's a fantastic fucking album.
I don't ever want to go.
Who's going to
Please.
Nickelback?
I plan on going.
Daniel's friend.
They're gonna be here in August.
That's the one he wants me to go to. No.
I'm probably gonna go to Nickelback.
Can you close the door so we can start?
I don't want to go to Nickelback.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't want to go to Nickelback.
I don't
Help me.
Yo.
Can you all take Daniel's friend to Nickelback with you?
No.
Was that
Please.
Hard
I
pass.
thought it was, but fuck it. Close the door. He ain't here.
Whatever.
Who is it? Do I know them? You're making a face. Hard pass.
Is it Frey?
Why don't you go?
Oh, no.
Why the fuck are you out, Joe? This is a conversation live off stream about your terrible life choices and poor decision making.
I'm not wanting to go.
Hard pass.
God, I gotta fix the lights in here.
Every time I do it makes me laugh.
That's that motherfucker showing up now.
He said he was gonna play.
I think one of my favorite vines is the one of the guy from Nickelback, and it's
That's very loud.
Him thinking out loud, but he says, "Take me into your fucking arms." It's great.
I don't know. I've never seen that.
You don't know?
We're not doing memes. We're not doing memes and vines. We're starting soon.
Well, I mean,
Vines. Who does Vines?
I don't care, Rebecca.
who doesn't do vines? You don't miss vines.
The TikTok.
I never did Vine.
Oops, sorry.
I never had a Vine. Never looked at Vines. TikTok though.
I had a vine before I swung everywhere on it.
Fuck you.
Is my crown straight? See, you look at it and then you like hesitate.
I'm not very good with spatial reasoning.
I got you, Jack.
I think in words, Becca. We had this
me too,
discussion
that's
the
how
other
you
day.
Is my
Make sure the door's locked. Make sure the door's locked.
Don't you keep
Anybody?
Lock and chain.
Sorry, what?
Is my crown
Okay.
straight?
Where are you trying to center it?
My face.
No, but which piece are you
Don't
trying
worry
to
about the.
center?
Don't worry about. Is it
Yes.
straight on my head, like not
Let's say so.
cockeyed?
What?
what?
Handsome. The word you're looking for is full on
I
handsome.
think Aaron was about to hit on you.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, give it to me.
I don't like facial hair though, but I do think it looks really good on you.
Thank you.
Like really, yeah.
I worked really hard on
I was
this.
considering liking facial hair for a second.
You've had that for a while.
Yeah. Like about August?
The
thing
down
looks
hair
good
and-
together.
It's been a while since I've had my hair down. Thank you, everyone. Everyone needs a confidence boost. I
Shane,
appreciate it.
Fuck you.
I
Don't talk to me.
really like your head right now. It's looking particularly boxish.
I like your belt placement today.
What?
Boxish.
Now it's out of context.
I just bumped the
and it sounds
camera.
a little pervy, but I'm very...
Mother fucking piece of shit.
Is there a garbage can in here? Because I'm gonna go put my popsicle in as well as myself at this point.
Oh, by the way, if you feel ants,
Don't tell Aaron, it's more funny this way.
Okay, so Aaron's allergic to ants.
Well, Aaron's gonna have to endure because
You have an EpiPen, right?
they're occasionally raining
I
from.
actually don't have it here.
They're occasionally carpenter ants raining from the sky.
Raining? What do you mean raining? Like, they
like raining over this land.
Raining is a loose word, more like hurricaning out of the fan.
out of the fan.
Over this land.
They're getting yeeted across the room.
I mean, he cocked it. He cocked it.
Oh no, they've already been yeeted. They've been yoded actually.
Wow.
He got the cack on
They've been sucked and fugged out of here.
Yeah, so. Who was on?
Hello? Who's fucking horns honking? Neighbors need to get their shit
Who's
together.
rolling up?
I can't honk my horn.
Somebody screaming.
I like your Yu Yu Hakusho shirt.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody sit your asses down. Stream's live.
My ass is down. Oh, I forgot I have ice pop.
Finish my
Whose chair is this?
You whipping.
I know, because it's handsome.
Aaron, that is not an option for you.
Apparently.
Sit in the other chair.
Hold
Does
on.
anyone have any? Wow.
He's visible.
He's not sitting in that chair.
We have a stool here.
Sit in the wooden stool.
What was he sitting on?
Look at him.
Is that what stool is that? Is that a black one next to you?
The chair with
It was the one that was.
Get him on the black stool versus the wooden stool.
It's the black stool for the.
There was an extra chair over there. I sent it that way.
See, there was one here because I have my own special stool that nobody's allowed to sit in.
I've sat in it more than you.
Yeah, I know you have, and I don't appreciate it because it's mine.
I don't know. By the transitive property or whatever. I feel like it's mine.
The transit property is if A equals B and B equals C, then A is equal to C.
Yes, you're right.
I got ice in here.
If A and C means it's
I'm
mine.
not sorry.
It's alright. See, you just...
Oh my gosh!
It's used quite regularly in mathematics.
Okay, we're starting. D&D time, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna play D&D alone tonight.
It's called talking here.
Going?
You don't need a camera for that.
I think 90% of strips, Twitch disagrees.
It snowed.
We just were actively at war with ants, and your response is to throw food around the table.
Shush, shush, shush,
It's
shush.
the frozen stuff on the
That's what
outside of
they'll
my ice
least
pop.
expect.
They're not prepared for it anymore.
They're not prepared for the cold weather of winter.
Just let me go, please. Don't please don't call my horn. Just there.
As far as I'm concerned.
Hey, remember I bought some cool highlighters?
We'll honor that deal.
Did you lose them already?
I gave them to you.
Oh, that's right. I took them home and I didn't put them back on back. I know where they're at.
Okay. Who wants to recap last episode?
Yes.
Who took notes? Guess who's recapping?
I'm not gonna share my notes with you all.
I wasn't
Your
here.
hair's the same color as my drink.
Beautiful and awesome. Thank you.
Harder purple grape.
I don't like the taste of it.
I am a
I don't
harder
like the
purple
name
grape.
of that one.
Can we please just start D&D?
I'm opening my notes. Okay. Last episode was called Into the Fires.
You need to give me these because I've been naming them myself on
Yours are
YouTube,
not.
and
Yours
they're
are not.
nearly as
Yours
good.
are not canon. Here's a fanfic
Dungeon
ones.
dork. That's why we have ants.
I need the napkin.
Is this how you? Is this how you?
Still have that whole.
Do you want ants?
Okay, so
This is how you get ants.
This is not how you get carpenter ants.
in the recap, Solomon, Tyr, Ketra, and Torok went into the desert to go look for that man by the name of Fennec. Thank you. We learned a little bit more about the God Kings, which you all actually knew. It was more that I learned about the God Kings.
Remember that?
Yeah. The whole plot, yeah.
Good times.
We touched. So the world tree has been extending its reach. Like we got out there, we're like, oh wow, there's world tree roots. So we kind of went and investigated those world tree roots, and some of us touched the world tree. And guess what? We found out Adam still exists. Adam is really prevalent in the world tree. Adam is everywhere. In fact, Adam was possessing animals that were watching us sleep. It was really uncomfortable. Adam really wants us to follow him, and Adam is kind of acting like a good guy now, which is uncomfortable. But he would love to get some followers.
I thought Adam was a good guy.
What's
back in
awkward
the
is
old days.
Adam's.
He might still be a
staying
good
the
guy.
same. I found this pixie.
That's the best part is Adam's being the same. Everybody else just assumes he's the good guy because now there's worse people out
I
there.
don't know what you're talking about. Assuming he's a good guy.
He's a less bad guy.
Adam really wants to get into Valyria.
Valoria.
Who the
Valeria
hell is
sounds like a general disease.
Have you played any of the other games, Michael?
I don't think so. I wasn't present.
No,
I played a
guess
character who
not.
wasn't allowed to talk, so I didn't really say much.
Alright.
He had one too many busy ice pops.
He's had half of one.
He had one
Oh
whole
no, I
one.
finished it. No, it's the fear of ants setting in.
It's only supposed to alcohol. It's not.
Michael, throw me some of those black things over there.
Everybody else finished theirs, and I the only one that didn't.
Correct.
I'm gonna try covering up some of the table to see if I can get rid of some of
Okay,
the glare on me.
So in all that, we finally made our way and met with Adam actually led us to Fennec. After talking to him a little bit, he agreed to lead us to Fennec on the condition that we would ask about him being allowed in Valoria. Like,
Deliver a message.
we would send a message to Anya for him, and he took us to where Fennec was. Fennec we thought was gonna murder us. Nah, Fennec was cool. Fennec was killing a
He tried
phoenix.
punching me in the face.
No, he asked you if you wanted to fight.
He tried grabbing you by your shirt and he didn't try punching you in the face.
He tried to challenge you. You didn't want to fight him. He walked
No,
away.
you're not trying to fight him at all.
Whatever.
Give me two more of those things. Your version of the story is flawed.
You are interfering with my notes. I had nothing in here about him punching, and he said he tried to punch me. I'm like, fine, he tried to punch you.
Can you give me three more of those things? While you're doing your recap over here, buddy.
Sure, what?
Three more of the black things.
Anywho, before we get too off track about Adam, no one thinks Adam is a good guy.
That's my version of the story. I'm sticking with it.
I want to point that out.
Okay, so ultimately, Fennec decided to, he consumed the phoenix, and he decided he was heading,
Not as blisteringly white.
he was heading to the fire gate to help protect the fire gate. And when he left, there was a phoenix egg left behind that we picked up.
Oh, yep.
And we ultimately found out that we need to go to Locke before the tournament starts. So
Because we
our
can
goal.
find our 8th in Locke.
Yes.
We'll
Michael?
know him when we see him.
I was going to ignore this, but I'm actually going to take this from Forsaken suggested it in the chat. Take an inspiration point. You have 1d6 inspiration you can use throughout the session for recapping the last session.
Thank you. Who suggested that?
Forsaken.
Huh?
Thanks, Forsaken. I appreciate you.
Ooh-wee. This guy.
Okay, you motherfuckers are in Blythtopia. You have just returned via the teleportation circle into the town center. The townsfolk are starting to head into the later afternoon. You guys have been gone for most of the day. And
Also note, Tyr got a natural 20 on his teleportation circle copy, so
Yeah.
now he can make a teleportation circle to Blythtopia.
True.
hopefully he has that written down in his notes.
Yes.
Write it down in your notes.
So,
Paper notes.
What was I just up to?
training throughout the day. Work on that obstacle course to impress Ketra.
Then we had people doing it.
You're practicing on it.
So,
We don't have slaves in Blythtopia. We are a free people.
it is the afternoon of the second day that she has been flying. What you guys are gathered in the town square as you teleport in. Most of the elements are finishing their afternoon prayers.
I think we agreed as a unit that we were going to put the Phoenix Egg on the outskirts of Blythtopia, so if it exploded and hatched, it wouldn't destroy the town.
Correct.
Okay, cool. I'm going to do that.
I want that far away.
You already went and did that.
Yeah, I did that before we left.
Yeah,
before we
we'll call him Reggie Jr.
Oh, Lord.
Good old RJJ.
Our DJ?
Okay.
So what are you guys doing? The Ted Blythe show.
Assuming Blythe was running her city.
Yeah, that's true. The Ted show.
We built this obstacle course for you. We hold the gators in the moat. They're particularly hungry. You hold the 100-foot tower here.
Where'd you
What the
get
hell we
gators? Where'd you get gators?
Don't ask questions. You want to
Saltwater
answer.
I
crocodiles.
do want the answers. Where'd you get gators, man?
They crocodiles.
Listen, I knew a guy when I was above the ocean.
Was he an alligator?
Isn't there alligator people?
Kind of.
All right, so
There are lizard folk.
they're sharks that I put scales on. You really want? All right. Ruin my surprise.
On closer inspection, it's just a whole bunch of sharks with like paper tubes.
Scale mails. That's so cool.
Throw me a freaking bone here.
Freaking gators with freaking lasers on their head. Don't look at me like I'm freaking Frankenstein.
Okay. So
Those movies.
they're supposed to be talking about doing another one.
Why?
See, that's the response that everybody has. I love those movies. They're doing another one. Ooh.
The first two were really good, and then they made the third one, and it was like,
All right. So you guys are gathered. Are you guys going to return to the inn where you guys have been hanging out for most of your time?
Blythtopia doesn't have any sort of weapons or a magical area, does it?
It does not.
It's got a Darkles.
It had a Darkles.
we don't have a. I feel like we have a Darkles under construction.
He came back, remember? And he was just pissing and moaning the whole time about every time that I abandoned Blythe.
Yeah.
Still Darkles.
Do you want to go try and shop there?
I'm not going there. He's asking.
There's not a
When I say
Darkles.
like a magic or a weapons shop, I mean
Darkles under construction.
DUC.
He's going through.
Darkles under construction. They're doing some renovations.
Yeah, I mean,
A tree grew
We're
through.
gonna.
A tree grew through half of it. And he's not approving of it, so he's going through some renovations.
We're also discussing renaming it.
Blythels?
Why would we call Blythels?
They have a Blythels in the Darkles. It's like a Starbucks Target thing.
how long does it take?
$5.
A long ass time.
Yeah,
currency
we're
here?
installing a Blythe box in here. Yeah, I'll have a venti Blythe, please. I want a tall Blythe.
Okay.
No, it's 2 Blythes.
Okay.
How fast can we get to log?
Are we going? Are we in the tavern?
Let's assume that we are in the tavern.
Sure.
I don't know. I've never been to Locke.
You guys are gathered in the tavern. No, nobody in the group has been to Locke.
How Locke is where the steps are?
Yeah.
That's where the dragon is.
Yeah.
Just east of where the steps
So
are, right?
it's like that fast.
West.
Am I mistaken on that?
I think you're pretty right.
Not wrong.
Like that.
So we just have to wait for she to get there. Then.
Whenever
She?
she gets
The teleportation
the,
dragon.
What is it? What's her name?
She.
She.
Her name is Blythe Jr.
Little BJ.
Yikes.
Oh,
Yikes.
okay.
Yikes. Phrasing.
No, no worries.
I created.
I would not suggest any of you call her Blythe Jr. She lets Blythe call her that because she respects Blythe.
So
Also, because that's her name.
now, so far as the teleportation, how does it work? She puts her wings around it, and we can teleport from Blythe, the circle here in the city, or do we have to create her teleportation circle?
No, we can teleport from the city circle here.
Okay.
We have one drawn, I assume. Yes. Do we have
The town one or the one on the dragon?
Do we have one for the dragon?
It's the same circle.
Oh, it's the same circle.
So I can teleport to the dragon.
No, that's not the same circle.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, you just use the same spot too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's one central circle in Blythtopia at the town square where
You
Blythe
draw
has the water.
wherever you want to go to.
Okay. Well, looks like we have about 2 days before she lands.
I would like some training.
Yeah.
Is there? I'm
Say no more. Say no more.
What you got there, Ted?
All right. Follow me yonder. I'll show you this here obstacle course.
I like to
You're
follow.
gonna love it.
Like to follow Ted to see his obstacle course.
I'm excited.
Okay. Ted, describe us your obstacle
I'm gonna have a
course.
full beer like in my hand.
All right. Get a Redmond, right?
I'm gonna take a martini with
Yeah, Redmond.
Where'd you get a martini?
I don't know.
Where
They
did
the
you
bartender.
make this obstacle course?
It's an outskirts of
Easy
something.
on the teeth.
Outskirts of town.
Okay.
Near the, I would assume, knowing Ted, relatively close to the orchards. Not in them, but close enough.
Sure. So, you start here, right? You got your basic logs, and I want to emphasize these logs are covered in very, very sharp barnacles. All right, that's where I got them. So you got to jump over these here logs in different ways, right? There's like 3 of varying heights. It gets higher as you go. So you got to be nimble. That's covered.
Cool.
Next, you go onto this here mud pit. Now there are crabs in it, and they are hungry. Let me tell you.
Okay.
It was trying to get him in there. Anyway, it was a nightmare. All right, so you get out of the mud pit with crabs. All right. Now I have a rope. Now you might look down there at that there water, and you see my shark gators in there. All right. You gotta rope over them, because if you fall in there, you're probably gonna die.
Like pitfall.
Yeah. So you get over the shark gators.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. We're out. Now you got. You thought. It's definitely what I was about to say.
I'm sorry.
Steal the man's thunder over here.
Listen, you think you're out. You go over this here mound. You call the map. And then you behold this 100-foot tower. And there's sharp, spiny sea urchins scattered amongst the tower, hidden in the handholds. All right, so you got to be nimble. You got to know where you're going. You got to be smart, right?
Yeah.
All right, get to the top of the tower. You ring the bell. That's it. You're done. You just jump off the tower.
No sec.
That's all.
100 feet.
You gotta jump off the tower.
There's a rope. You can skedaddle down if you want. You can jump.
Do like an Assassin's Creed.
That's it. That's all. That's all I got so far.
Hay after jumping 100 feet.
For the spur of the moment here. That's
No. That's very very involved.
Yeah.
How many people died?
26.
Maybe.
We prefer not to discuss such things unless speaking to our lawyers.
So, Ted, why don't you give us a show about how this obstacle course here works?
I don't know if we damn obstacle course. Shit.
Alright.
Alright. You think barnacles? Over the logs. Just looking at
We're
you
just
the whole
watching
time.
Ted do the obstacle course.
Okay.
Was there a reason we made an obstacle course?
I wanted to train.
That was a session before.
You spent 2 years training. Do you really?
Well, I spent my whole life walking.
Yeah.
Well,
Everyone keeps saying I'm not ready, and I need to keep training.
My people also built an obstacle course underground.
I feel like it's not my fault I built this.
We have
Okay.
multiple obstacle courses now.
Can you give us a tour of your obstacle course in the ground?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
How many people here have dark vision?
I think I do. But honestly, I don't know.
I don't
You
think
have the
do.
cloak, yes.
It better be sharp.
Everybody then.
Okay.
Like the sharks are cracking that shit.
So I guess I'll lead them down to the obstacle course underground that Torok has also never even seen. So
Go ahead. Give us the rundown, Torok.
this is the obstacle course that they built.
Just a big hole.
I'll go ahead and let my associate take you on a path. Associate.
He's throwing it back to me.
That's
Yeah, they didn't do it. They haven't done it yet.
There's a
You guys have been gone for 12 hours.
There's a pit of despair. The end.
You guys have been gone for 12 hours. There was other shit to tend to. They haven't finished it yet.
There's a bunch of Gensai with like hard hats on. They're like, we're not done yet.
They're like getting ready to start working as you guys walk in.
What are you doing down here?
This looks great.
Think this is my bedroom.
You guys are just in a big open room.
It's very big.
Well, I like your.
A lot of rocks on the floor. Those are snacks. If
Are
you're
those
hungry.
food rocks or those are sleeping rocks?
That one's my pillow.
They're interchangeable.
When he's hungry now, he just turns over and takes a bite.
That's living the dream.
So I guess we're gonna have to use Ted's.
Ted's
obstacle course for now.
obstacle course.
Oh god.
Good.
Yeah.
So, so I've been training for 2 years.
Right.
I'm gonna be on the top of the tower, and when you come to ring the bell, I'm gonna punch you.
Wait, what?
That is what I have been missing in this course.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm confused.
Get on
I
up
think,
there. Skedaddle.
I think
So-
Solomon should be the first to attempt. this
So
feat.
before you all do the obstacle course, I need you to consult your primary caregiver, doctor, and
Which for this group is Solomon.
and ask him if these hands are right for you.
Petra?
Yeah.
So I have these waivers. I need everybody to sign before they do this.
Yeah. No, sign the waivers.
It's a Utopia now liable.
Yes.
Are those clipboards?
Yes.
All right.
Utopia is not liable for any injuries that happen while in Blytopia.
While in
You
Blytopia.
gotta do it in blood.
You can't sue or Blytopia.
Or any of its affiliates.
So yeah,
Your lawyer would be the Darkles guy.
so I'll
You have him
yeah, right.
portrayed.
I'll see you guys later. I'll see you at the top of the tower. Ha,
Redman. Go.
All right.
I'm timing you.
All right. Okay. Woo-hoo.
It'd be better if everybody just walked away and just let Catcher up there.
Is he making his way up?
Uh-huh.
Wait, you're not doing the obstacle course?
Yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah. How would I get up the tower?
Particles.
How would I get up the tower?
Just walk to the tower?
No, you have to go through the obstacle course.
Oh.
Of course.
I'm just gonna be up there first so I can punch you in the face with reality. That's what I'm naming my
Well, while you're training, then, what are our plans? Like, what, I don't know what we're doing. I feel a little disconnected from the group now that I'm not fully with the party at all times.
I have a whole kingdom to run.
It's like a township.
We sent she over towards where the cloud steps are,
Sharks are biting.
and when she gets there, we're going to teleport to her.
When do you think she's going to get?
It was approximately a 3 to 4 day travel.
And when did you send her?
2 days ago.
Okay.
So we have 2 days to train.
Ding.
Passport.
Ding. Yeah. No, I'm going up the sea urchins. Gotta use my.
Do you have any
Oh, they're biting.
wishes to what we could do at the time, Light?
You're hungry.
Maybe we should make sure we have all the supplies that we need to go. Ooh, and I should probably have somebody here, like in charge while I'm not in charge.
How would you like to choose who that is?
Your second in command typically Torok.
Who's that really like young guy? The one that's super like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Oh, what was his name?
Scum.
I think it was
Fellow?
a fellow, yes.
Ah, yes.
I don't think fellow's ready for that kind of duty yet.
It'd be fun. All right. I'm gonna be. Can we have a platform at the top of the tower?
Yeah, of course there's platforms.
Yeah, I want to
You don't
fight
ring the
people.
bell without a platform.
I want to fight people at the top of the
It's
platform.
not that bad.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I'll do like a
10 by 10. It's a
yeah,
big
we'll do
tower.
like a fist fight.
It's a big tower. I mean,
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
not build it with a wider base.
No, that's okay.
It doesn't
You know,
really
I'm not
need
going to be
that.
moving around a lot because you know
I
when
don't know how windy it gets.
harsh reality gets here.
This is harsh. This is reality.
No, it's just this one.
Oh. The mechanic I wanted to ruin.
Your turn, Redmond.
All right, I'm very sensitive about the on.
I'm gonna make my way up to the tower.
Mind the barnacles.
Yeet it off.
Okay, so as you start running the obstacle course, go ahead and make an athletics check. Or an acrobatics check. Athletics or acrobatics as you start jumping the wall covered in sharpened barnacles.
Where else am I going to get lost? I'm saying.
Underwater in the forest.
Bingo. No. Cut down them beautiful trees now. Yeah, we can.
13.
13. So you hit the first one, clear that one. You jump the second one, barely making it, kind of scratching your leg, and you jump right into the barnacles of the third one. You take...
That's a purple heart right there.
I told him to mind the barnacles.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
7 points of piercing damage as you...
Bottle opener, bro.
The barnacles are sharp as shit.
Give him a poke.
As you fall over
I've
that...
been diving before. I've been cut on barnacles before.
well,
Yeah, well,
you fall over into the next obstacle course. What's the next obstacle course there, Ted?
Wasn't it the mud pit?
there's the mud
Mud pit filled with crabs.
Very hungry crabs.
So make a strength check to try and run through the mud.
And they're not small crabs.
I assume they were giant crabs.
Yeah.
I assume they were the other crabs.
Is there a reason you
Well,
shoved?
both.
Crab people.
Is there a reason you shoved the young boy into the obstacle course first?
He will be forever itchy for the rest of the game.
He offered though. I'm not there, but he offered. Tia, can you get these hands?
So, as you start moving through, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Sad when he gets up here.
I would like to, like,
Maybe he should have gotten the inspiration.
Okay.
never mind.
So as you guys see him, he starts trucking through the mud. You see this massive crab claw come out, just slam into his side.
That poke it with the thingy.
You take 5 points of bludgeon damage
Oh, I
as you
can't
manage
poke it.
to pull out of the grasp of the crab with your dexterity and continue moving through. Make me another strength check to move through the mud.
That's Dennis that got him there. He's a main one.
Are you
Ketra's
sitting
not
on the
there.
platform with me?
Okay. So at this point, you
You
keep on trudging on through.
Showed him.
That was strength?
Yeah.
19.
So we're gonna
19.
bash brothers this?
So you trudge on through and you get through. What's the last obstacle?
No, that's not the last.
No, there's the alligator.
Oh, how
No. This is a
mud pit. What's after the mud pit?
shark gators.
Shark
No,
gator.
you have to.
To just swim through?
No, you got to swing across and keep in mind
Like
it's been
pitfall.
covered in grease. The rope.
What?
He didn't mention that.
Make a late edition.
It's a
That was a late edition.
Make a strength check at disadvantage.
It's a test of your grip strength.
Pitfall.
Pitfall.
Yeah, no, it was a good game.
You think it's just a regular rope? Is this a joke to you?
Let's make that strength check at disadvantage.
I'm surprised it wasn't a giant snake.
I'll give you this though. The sharks, they ain't, no 10 feet sharks. They're about 3-4 foot, but they got real sharp teeth.
What do you need?
Baby teeth are sharper than regular
You
teeth.
really want to roll with disadvantage on one of Jackson's cursed ass dice? Whoa! He sent the Jackson dice through too.
It's forever ruined. Throw it away.
Hey, Vinny, your wife has to make a new dice tower.
Brand new. Start
Those
fresh.
sharks are 20 feet.
Do you see?
That's what you get for making
You see Tyr run, jump, grab the rope, slip right off it, fall into the water.
They're 3 to 4 foot sharks. They're like.
Does this 20 hit you? What's your AC?
Yes, it hits the 5.
Oh, sorry.
And okay, so it's gonna be 2 hits. I need you to make 2 strength saving throws.
You know what? In my defense, I didn't think anybody but Ketra was going to do the obstacle course, so it's kind of on you.
18 and 14.
All right, you're gonna take 14 points of piercing damage.
Oh my god.
As the sharks begin biting and thrashing into you, and now you need to make an athletics check to swim out of the water while sharks are chasing you.
That one there is Bernice. Oh, she's a keeper.
We're gonna kill Tyr before you guys even get to the contest.
I know, right?
He's gonna get killed by sharks in a pit.
Well, he hasn't gotten to it
File
yet.
those waivers before.
I'm a vicious mockery.
Yes, Queen Blythe.
Fuck you,
Thank
fish
you.
bastard.
I feel like
He makes a save. Thank you. You don't just roll damage. And he got a 19 for his save. You're not hurting his emotions.
I'd like to take out a rock and start motorizing them.
Athletics.
So athletics, I got a 17 plus 5.
Okay.
20.
So you swim to the edge. I need you to make another athletics check to try and climb out of the hole that Tag dug for
It is a
this.
hole. It is a hole.
It's gonna be 2 more hits.
Oh lord.
Think of Tough Mudder, but deadly.
Plus 5. So 13.
So
Oh, Tough Tenor.
I need you to make 1 more strength saving throw for me.
Of course. Can you write that down on the form?
18.
Okay. So you're gonna take another 21 points of piercing damage.
I must
That's-
make you unconscious.
That's not permanently ingrained yet, so I have to just refer to it as generic obstacle course.
They're sharks. They roll 1d10 for biting you.
21.
So as you guys see Tyr jump, he grabs on the edge, he starts climbing up. These 2 sharks bite into him and pull him underwater as he goes unresponsive.
Help.
And you see the shark start swimming around you.
I'm gonna hand you the paperwork, Blythe, and I'm gonna begin bounding down to the water.
Have gone through it.
I'm coming, little one.
You better get in the water quick.
I'm running.
As dark as you leap into the water, you see another shark just hit the side of Tyr, shake him for a minute, then let go. Take 2 death failed saves or throws.
What?
What 2? Wait.
When you get hit by an attack and you're unconscious.
Oh.
Can I get to him in time?
Yeah, you can jump in the water. He's right there near the edge. He was climbing up.
I'm gonna go ahead and cross lay on hands on him and take him out of the water. Punch a shark in the nose.
Roll attack check.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Give him a calf. No.
No.
No. Leave these children alone.
He had this about this little
It is a natural 20.
Okay. So you punch your shark in the face as they all scatter away from you. You climb out of the hole. As Tyr is laying there gasping for he's got a huge shark bite in his side.
They're little one. Maybe don't listen to them from now on. They're dangerous.
Tyr, you have 10 hit points.
I don't think he's gonna finish the rest of the obstacle course.
Well, now he has to start over. I mean, he went through, he just got taken out.
He didn't have to roll any checks to go through the obstacle course.
I'm assuming that Ketra was going slow because he's just trying to get to the top of it,
Yeah, I'm really excited.
not trying to actually run the obstacle course.
And I want to reiterate this. I did not expect anybody else to course than for me and Ketra. All rats,
You
all
have the
rats,
course now.
all rats reserved.
That's the tough tedder. Is that what that one was?
That's the tough tether.
LLC.
So, as
Sunbiz?
as Tyr is gasping for air with a bite wound on his side, small bites on his arms and legs, barnacle injuries, and a crab claw mark on the side of his head.
Hey, Solo Man.
I now develop a
What's up,
water
Ted?
check.
Now you can go that way, or you can go through the advanced side, which is just that little path around here to the tower.
What? Ted,
For
why don't
people
you
I-
see if you can do it?
For people I know.
It's like a little stone walkway.
Yeah, it's like a little
Little garden set up.
Little garden you have to weave through, so you don't. If you mess up the bonsai tree, though, you lose.
One of the little
You see, Tyr,
fellows.
sometimes parties have hazing rituals, and it's important to avoid the hazing rituals so you don't get hurt.
Fellows sitting on the side with a little water cup thing. He hands you a cup of water as you get to the
He
wall
also
climb.
gives you a kiss on the cheek.
I don't know. What if I'm
It's very
feeling-
pleasant.
What if I'm feeling froggy today? I don't know.
Do it.
Do you not remember the last time you felt froggy?
Do it.
We'll see what happens.
He's gonna go through
I'm gonna give him a bardic
obstacle course.
inspiration.
What are you gonna tell him?
Like, you can do it, Solomon. Show this metal man what you're made of.
Treason, man.
And it's flesh.
Can one of the sharks fight him in half?
We'll see what happens. Roll an athletics or acrobatics check there, buddy.
It's treason time.
Yeah.
7.
Solomon sits there. He runs, leaps right into the first log.
Plate mail though?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Wait, that's not a 10.
My
You
God.
gotta roll a d10.
Scrape the shit
No, it's,
out of it.
oh yeah, it is. He's a D10 now.
What is that?
Yes.
10.
Oh, okay.
My God. He's got a family.
God damn it, nigga.
What do you got?
Let's not talk about
9. You see Solomon kind of get himself situated, runs full speed towards, jumps towards the first log, and just slams his body full force into it.
Oh.
Kind of falls back onto your ass.
I told him there was another.
He's feeling froggy.
Minor setback for a major
As Son
comeback.
Ted says in his book of Dog
Nigga.
War, sometimes you have to
What'd you get, bud?
path less traveled by.
8.
Come on, you gotta
the
eat
second
it.
log hit. He gets up and just
He's gonna slowly start climbing over the second one.
He's still
You know what I'm talking about, like the 3
Alright,
military
16.
16.
Okay,
Third log.
so you make it over the third log. So for the first 2 logs,
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
you're gonna take
I
8
believe
points of piercing damage.
Okay, alright.
Bitch, I took like 14 from one of them.
So you slime your body over the third log onto the ground as you now look before the mud pit.
Right,
In my opinion, book, Son Ted.
And what's that one?
War.
That was a strength check to trudge through the mud.
They would've seen
Focus.
Just straight strength.
Yeah, so strength check.
Bullshitting up here. We're just talking shit.
Didn't expect this to
That's a
take
botch.
this long last.
Solomon runs and right into the mud, and you see him start to sink as you see the mud start to move towards him with these crabs.
Oh man, you're supposed to move, buddy.
Yeah. Don't worry, I get it.
Don't you have that tempestuous map? Shoot yourself up, man.
That's going to be a natural 20 for one crab claw and a 14 for the other.
They coming. Oh, he coming.
They coming.
He coming.
I take it the natural 20 does hit.
Isn't
that
he
one is, Dennis.
technically like restrained, so wouldn't it be an advantage?
Oh, wow.
It would indeed. It would indeed, Becca.
Classic by life.
Classic.
Classic. Just pinnacle life.
That's going to be
Sitting on the side eating a snack.
18 points of bludgeoning damage. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
What?
You gotta resist.
Get him, crab.
As you are now under
Go,
the mud.
Dennis, go!
You gotta resist this long.
No, that's Bernie's, right?
No. Bernie's.
I'm going to ask a question now that we're actually in the process of the second person running through the obstacle course.
Why we spent this much time on my made-up course?
No. Why aren't we using any of the innate abilities of the classes to overcome the obstacle course to show that you've learned the classes?
Because it's an obstacle course.
How would this be funny?
Like the best use manner to shoot yourself up and over the mud pit.
Yeah, that's what I was literally in the
Yeah,
process
that's
of
what he's
doing.
eating
But
himself.
you're in the mud already.
Okay.
What'd you get for your strength save?
Why would I not try to use my own
He's gonna
physical ability first?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, let's see.
It's an obstacle course.
What'd you get for that? What'd you get for that strength check?
Why not just walk around the course?
Okay, so you managed to pull from the crab's claw as
And
they're
then
now
also,
surrounding you.
I know I have tempestuous magic. Thank you.
I know you have the abilities.
Comments.
Whatever-
Learning my class.
Whatever you guys want to do, we'll see if you survive the obstacle course.
So blind with
What?
you know, the penance. Go, Dennis!
So
Where'd you get a dentist pendant from? Like, get
She's always prepared.
Bro, Chris,
The Blythe chop.
So what?
Is there a block gift
What did I do the strength check for?
To avoid the grapple of the crab claw.
Okay, all right.
these are large crabs.
They are indeed.
Fellow, can I have a tall
You're at the top.
macchiato Blythe?
No, he's at the bottom with the little water stand. You yelling down to him?
Yeah.
He ain't climbing up there.
No.
Boy, he'll die.
We got a bucket.
I was gonna say we got a bucket. We got a bucket and rope.
I am
That's
going
a bee
to
bucket.
cast fog cloud and
Still a bucket.
use my tempestuous magic to get out of the mud
Why is there a pea
Okay.
bucket up
and
here?
then just dispel the
You
fog.
shut there for a long time. You gotta go
Okay.
No, that's
So you launch yourself into the air.
usually I just shoot it
You
off.
land on the other
And
side.
it's a
Right.
boo bucket.
Now faced with the vine.
Right. Okay, what check is that?
There's a strength check
See this?
to run and jump and grab it.
See this? This is a moment that I've missed for the past
few.
2 years.
No, like 5 or 6.
Up
So-
there, though.
I'm gonna pull up my flying card
Uh huh.
and just glide on over
Oh, okay.
and
touch the rope. while you
So,
go through.
so that whole thing of doing things physically first, that's gone away now that I brought it up. No, okay. No, we're moving on. Oh, no, I got it.
I don't feel like falling. Thank you.
I got it.
Free falling.
So you fly over that. Now you're at the tower climb.
Yep. What's that?
That's a strength check as well.
Alright.
You're not gonna know where these sea urchins are.
There is poisonous sea urchins in the handholds.
Okay, it's fine.
Just saying. It's like Legends of the Hidden
That
Temple
is
kind
a
of.
soft 20.
Okay, so you start climbing up it. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as you're climbing up there.
I'm throwing the pee bucket down.
As he is wont to do.
It's at 14.
14. So you feel something sharp initially, you pull your hand back as these urchins kind of shift and move. As you climb up to the top, and Ted and Ketcher are standing up there.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I didn't do so bad.
No, you did it right. All right.
Yeet!
So, kind of.
Ultimate punch.
Oh, you gotta ring the bell though.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
you have to ring it.
Ding.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We help him out. I like to swing.
Make a attack check.
I was waiting for it.
With advantage, because I'm assuming Solomon was not 100% prepared to get fucking dirty punched.
He said he was going to do it.
Alright. Roll. You want to attack recklessly?
Yeah, alright. I'm gonna yeet you off.
That's fine.
I'm
Can
gonna.
I shove punch? Because I'd like to punch.
You have 2 attacks.
I did
Yeah, alright.
Pythagorean theorem to see how far the sharp water is from the tower.
Roll intelligence check there, Ted. See if you can Pythagorean theorem that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
26?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
So not using my channel divinity too.
26.
Yeah.
I don't
So
Pythagorean
that's a
theorem.
flat 8.
For damage?
Yeah.
So you punch him in the face for 8 damage there.
Well, I'm not raging. Or am I raging? So then that's
Well, if
10.
you attack recklessly.
You don't have to be raging to reckless.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
No.
And then I'd like to shove him off.
Roll shove. It's athletics. It's athletics versus athletics.
Okay.
Don't let Catcher beat you.
Hey, as he goes to shove him off, I
Are
want
you
to
gonna
try to
crouch behind him?
Yeah, I'm gonna crouch behind him.
Roll with advantage there, Ketra.
Okay, well, 19, so.
I didn't forget the last session I was here. As we were.
Not at this point. The roll's already happening.
That's fine.
So
No, he got it. 14.
So you go to shove him, and you kind of plant your feet and hold yourself steady as you feel Ted behind you. You kind of get a little bit of a lean, and you push yourself good.
What's going on, guys?
Thunderwave.
I expected to be yeeted.
Thunderwave.
Did you want to be eaten?
Kinda, yeah.
It's wrong, so
I'm like
different
to pick
there.
up Sullivan.
oh my god.
Okay.
What is that? A strength check?
Uh-huh.
Eat him back, Solomon.
No, it's
Oh
fine.
my god. We have fun. We have fun here. It's fun.
So
Oh,
that's
fun.
strength,
I mean,
right?
I'm letting
Uh-huh.
him do it. Doesn't he really need to make the check?
He still has to make the trick to be able to physically lift you.
Oh, okay.
That is a 19.
Okay, so you pick him up in the air.
That's Kev.
So cod piece, like here, like under, like to grab up.
Sure, you're grabbing his dick. That's fine.
No, I have an
It's
under.
a solid dick lift.
What are you being mean about grabbing dicks? Geez, Shane. Rude.
I like to lift Solomon up.
You're Shane.
And I'm like, do you have a preference on where you would like to be eaten?
Just anywhere. I mean,
Yeah,
not
right.
in the water.
No, that's bad.
Yeah.
I'd like to find a place that's pretty clear.
The oasis that you guys were talking about earlier.
I'm gonna be.
Roll a strength check.
I want to gust the wind.
Whoa.
Okay, roll a strength check.
I'd like to rage so I can get it.
You're gonna blow him an additional 60 feet?
Why is somebody at my door? How can somebody be at the door? The
Is it a
window's open.
strength save or it's a strength check?
Spider.
That's definitely a spooky ghost.
Yep.
That is.
Probably a spider on the thing.
Nope, that's a spooky ghost.
Fair.
So
It's gonna put
Oh.
an additional
It's
50
plus 2 to the strength or no?
No.
Just at advantage.
Just at advantage.
Oh.
That's a 12.
Okay. So you and just kind of he falls from the side. So you have like this nice little spot pick where it looks like it's relatively softer ground. And as he throws you down, it's all the rocks that Ted has piled up at the bottom to hold this tower up.
your ass.
I have Featherfall.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's still fun.
It's so fun. I had a good time.
No,
I had a
we're
great
getting,
time.
we're getting excited about jagged rocks.
No, I was just describing
out.
versus the nice cushioned ground.
Again,
How far away is he from the dragon?
Featherfall.
Well, he's going to be drifting down slowly.
I didn't ask that.
I don't know, probably 15 feet by the time.
Hashtag Pocahontas. I'm gonna jump on you.
Oh,
Roll an attack check. Featherfall's about to go the fuck away when you get mule kicked in the back of the head.
I'm gonna go. Solomon, catch me!
Is he getting caught up in?
Can I wait? Can we pause right here? I would like to have said that I saw Ketcher doing this, but falling straight on his face and missing. You rolled a 3.
I rolled a 3. A 3 plus what? Plus strength?
No, it's an attack check.
Oh, it's a check. So it's 14.
That still doesn't hit Solomon.
Alright.
As
Wait,
you
have
just.
plus
Even
11.
with the help of my ghost?
I would like to use my
I'd
challenge
like,
divinity.
I'd like to lean over to Blake.
What does that give you?
He's
Plus
not.
10.
He's
You
not.
24.
It's 24
You
hit?
have a plus 11
Do I have another reaction?
for your
No, you only get one reaction.
This isn't a separate now.
Yeah, this would be. Yeah, you would have a new one.
So
You have your shield?
yeah,
What's your AC now?
26.
Blake,
But I'm raging.
I-
So am I at 26?
my God.
No, you don't get plus 2 to it. You get to
I thought you
attack with
were
advantage
raging.
if you want to attack recklessly.
I am raging. But don't I get... Oh, that's
Your damage.
Yeah,
That's
Got
your
it.
attack.
Alright, 24, whatever.
So, Kedra leaps, mule kicking his way down and goes right past Solomon, right into the rocks.
Watch him miss Blythe. He's going to miss. Yep, there we go. He missed. I told you.
Anybody have a dice roller real quick?
Spell his magic.
I got it. What do you want?
Yeah, you could have done it a while ago. At this point, he's on the ground,
Oh, yeah.
and there's a potentially crippled Ketra.
What do you want?
It's gonna be 10d6.
I'm gonna superhero punch down.
That's pretty funny.
10d6?
Yeah,
It's a good time.
So the worst it can be is 60.
yeah,
33.
33 points of damage. As Ketra slams his hand into the ground, cracking the rock underneath him.
Soda Man!
And Solomon gracefully lands next to you.
I just wanted to take a nice trip down. What was that?
I'm just, you know,
That's some good
had him in
training.
a surprise. I thought it was funny.
I mean, I was surprised.
That's some good training.
See, that's training right there.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go up the path and like, who's next?
I think,
Torok, come get these hands.
Blythe, do you think that this is really a good use of our time?
My mouth will. Yes.
Torok,
This is stupid.
the Redman did it.
Soda Man did it.
Mostly.
It's true.
That is true.
All right, but we do it on my count.
Okay.
What? Alright.
All right. What's the first obstacle?
The
The
log.
logs.
I'd like to walk up and sit down in front of the logs
Okay.
and begin relaxing and meditating myself.
Oh man, he ain't gonna start singing his damn rock music, is he?
How long are you gonna take?
I would like to take like 2 hours to get across the obstacle course. It's a very slow and steady process.
Dice.
Kind of steps up, kind of rocks himself on top of the log, steps to the next one, rocks, steps over it.
Yeah, can I take a short rest?
Can we get to the
He's taking 2 hours, man.
let's get to the shark pit.
Hoo-ha.
How you gonna go across the road?
Hoo-ha.
Shark bait. Hoo-ha.
I'm very torn if you get to short rest or not.
Why?
Because short rest would be downtime and actually relaxing, and you're trying to stay prepared for him making it to the obstacle course.
No, I can obviously see him taking his damn sweet time.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Alright. Short rest. Hell yeah.
I'm just sitting up there dangling my feet off the
Take
ledge,
short rest.
hanging out.
So you make it through the first 2 obstacles relatively easily, and you get to the shark pit with the vine.
Does he know? Did he see him slip off?
He's the one that pulled him out of the
No, but did he
sharks.
see him slip?
Yes, he would have seen him slip out of the off the vine.
You're gonna like back me up when he comes up here, right?
Sure.
Oh, that's very reassuring.
You're not even up there with me. Who you talking to?
I'm up there with you.
You got back up?
He climbed back up.
Oh, hey.
Come back up.
No. How's your legs?
No, they're good, man.
Alright.
Springy.
Solomon did.
You don't know that.
Yeah, for real.
Okay. And then it's hit dice is your hit dice plus your con.
Yes.
What are they standing on top of?
A wooden structure?
Ferraris.
And it's in the water.
No. It's at the other side. I'm packed up on top of
It's
rocks.
a song by the game.
How big are the sharks?
Okay.
Like 3 or 4 foot sharks.
There's
Little
There's a couple 7-footers hidden there.
little black tips.
Well, they're
Hold please. I was not planning on doing this.
alright.
I've got to ponder over some things.
On their way, Rockman. That's some good training, kid.
Yeah, I thought so. How else are we gonna like know
You still
how
up there with us?
each
Are we
other's like
supposed to be
things?
doing something productive
I
today?
know.
This is productive.
We have 2 days to
As
House
Blythe says
party?
this, I shout back and say, I tried to suggest something more productive. You told me to go.
I mean, this is entertaining.
I mean, how long has it been?
Several hours.
Probably like 3 or 4 hours.
You're like 6 hours in right now.
I assume I would
It's-
have made it back up to the top.
It's starting to head into night at this point.
In the advanced path.
Yeah.
I got tiki
Oh, hey,
torches
man.
on. I got tiki torches on top of the tower.
So what are we gonna do when he gets up here?
I don't know. He's
pretty big, man. It might take all three of us to punch him at one.
He's pretty beefy.
He's a beefy boy.
Do me a favor real quick. Ted, roll me an intelligence check.
Alright. Not only will I roll it, I'll roll it. So. 14.
Okay.
Oh. Fucking plotting some shit. Probably fucking plotting.
I don't really have anything to help me, so I think it's just gonna involve me going.
Do what you gotta do about it.
Torok!
You got that inspiration dice, man.
I do.
Beefy boy.
Alright. I'd like to look up at the rope and know my limits. I'm just gonna have to wade into the water.
Can we get a player's handbook real quick?
Into the water.
What is he looking for?
Player's handbook.
For what?
For Druid. Just some
Long
spells
rest.
and stuff. Long rest. How many spells did you use? One. How many?
So you wade into the water.
Can I block the shark?
Hold on.
Name them or
Really
something?
delved into the spell.
You can, if you want to.
Sharks.
I don't know that we ever changed how this works, but my channel divinity is dreadful aspect.
No, it would still be about the same. You're still a fallen paladin. We also have some other things.
I'd like to wade into the water and cast my dreadful aspect.
What's your DC on it? Is it anything above a 14?
I don't know. Makes a wisdom save. My wisdom
It's
is
8
plus
It's 8 plus your
4.
plus your proficiency. It should be your con or your charisma. It's 8 plus. It's 8 plus your charisma.
Okay,
plus your
so
proficiency.
16. Yeah.
So they do not make it.
Okay.
So
That terrifies
as
me.
as Turok hops into the water, you see the sharks start swimming away from him. He just starts wading through it.
I'm not sure what my dreadful aspect is, but
Well, the water starts to boil as you hit it, kind of that you're part magma.
He's boiling up your shark friends.
Make some sushi!
A little rude.
Didn't Bernice have a name?
Yeah, Bernice.
Jesus Christ!
Y'all monsters.
That damn Rockman monster!
So roll an athletics check just to climb, or a strength just to climb out the other side.
natural 20.
So you
2 rolls tonight, 2 natural
plant your hand
20s.
and shoot your body up out of the hole, and you're now staring at the tower.
Hi, Torok.
All you gotta do is ring the bell.
Hey, man.
Ted,
Ring that bell!
I have a question for you. How sturdy did you make tower? Ted,
Where is he?
At the bottom of the tower, yelling up to you guys. Remember, Turok is 8.5 feet tall and made of rock.
The bell's up here.
And at this point, you have 2 people in full plate armor and a robot up there. Occasionally, there's a soft breeze. You guys hear as the tower rocks a little
It
bit.
is sturdy, and I want to jump down and Superman punch him.
Roll an attack check.
Yeet or be yeeted.
At disadvantage because he's flying through the air?
No, it's a straight attack.
Rebels.
You got this, baby.
See, it's just, you can roll at advantage.
I don't understand why we're having like a
They're new guys. Someone broke his damn legs.
He is not a new guy. He has been with me for 2 years.
217.
that does not hit Torok.
So you see Ted leap, come with his haymaker of a punch, and his hand slam right into Torok's face, and you hear this deafening cracking sound. As Ted hits the ground and pulls back, and you see his wooden hand is all cracked up across the top.
That is not a good spot to hit me.
As Torok just doesn't move.
Who do I ask if they're okay?
Someone's up there, up here with me.
You talk to Blythe.
Have a look at
Don't worry,
Sold it
I'm
now.
fine. I have a little bit of a tummy ache. I had too many snacks.
He's a robot, and look what happened.
You owe me 7 sharks.
I'm not.
I won't walk away.
I'm not jumping down there.
Yeah, but
I'll see what they can
comes
do,
up
Ted.
there like
Before he comes up here.
They're not dead, they just got scared of him.
Torok.
You owe me 7 sharks.
Torok.
Hey, right now.
Are you coming up here?
Yes, I was just asking about the structural integrity
No,
of
it's
it
good
before I
now that I'm
started
down.
climbing.
It's good now that I'm down here.
I'm sure it's fine.
Alright, I'd like to begin King Konging my way up.
So you're making your own handhold?
Life in his hand.
Roll an athletics check.
He gets to the top.
So you're not using the handholds, you're just gonna manhand the sides of this thing to climb it?
Yeah, King Kong.
Would my hands even fit in the handholds?
No, probably not.
So
26.
Scooby Ghost.
It's whatchamacallit, there's a spider likes to make an S there. 26?
I was like, oh
I think it's because
So-
Jackson's in the light and he keeps swaying and
As you see, Torogs are climbing the sides of this thing. Not even using the handholds, his hands just gripping onto the sides, digging his feet into it.
Said he made it up, right?
I'm just
Yeah, and he-
hanging out like this.
He makes it to the top as you kind of swing your body up there, Torog.
Hey, dog!
Hello.
Get him!
Does he ring the bell?
Like, subscribe.
all right. Now,
Hey guys,
yeah, what's up, Ted?
here's the final test, and I'm gonna hit my ball at the leg from the tower.
You're gonna do
Roll,
what?
roll strength check.
Oh,
You're gonna do
my god.
What is wrong with you people? I thought we were like a party, like
Yeah, I thought
together.
We're friends. We are
You gotta
friends,
expect
you
the
guys.
unexpected.
So, as you guys are standing there, you hear a boom and this
Ted hit the leg of the tower.
Oh,
wood starts splintering as the tower, 100-foot tall tower, slowly starts to fall.
How long do I have?
Before you hit the ground, or
Yeah.
9.8 meters per second.
Do I have long enough to cast Bless on my two friends up here with me? Because it helps Bless the saving throws, right?
And keep in mind,
Yeah, Bless would do saving
moving out of the
throws.
way.
Charisma.
Yeah.
And I'm out of the way of the tower.
No, I'm assuming you hit it and it's falling this way, like to another direction.
Featherball?
It better be away.
Yeah, if you want to
yeah.
cast Featherball.
Oh, that's true.
This is the final test, Black. Watch.
Solomon's like, Featherball.
Oh, look how slow the rock creature falls.
Are you casting Featherfall, everybody?
yeah.
Okay. So the tower comes crashing down, pieces of wood splintering in all directions as your three friends slowly drift and land on top of the rebel.
I actually feel kind of bad that he spent all this time making this.
Do you need help fixing it, Ted?
Sure, we'll just get more of followers to help, like last time.
Yes, there is no slaves in Bitopia.
Yeah, of course.
I had a good time.
No slavery here.
So, Torak, last time we did something like this, we all beat the crap out of each other.
Toss the torch to the
That sounds
We all beat the
barbaric.
shit.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So y'all pass, except for the Redmond.
It's extremely barbaric. Why would you hit each other?
How are you gonna know how much beatings in the face you can take unless you get punched in the face?
How you gonna
But
know?
what happens if something comes to beat you while you're beating each other and then you've weakened each other?
Well, we're in Blythtopia. What's gonna attack us?
Wild.
I said,
Fire giants have been there recently.
I said the same thing about my home. And then my people were destroyed.
Sounded like you had fun and then something happened and then now you don't have fun.
I still have fun.
Were you dressed provocatively?
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck off!
Triggered.
So, let's all go have a drink now. Gonna take my horse to you.
You have
I want one of the hydraulic chairs, so when something like that says, I can just lower myself down and disappear from the camera shot.
So,
I'll tell you that does not share the expressions of me. Oh god. So I had a nice time. Next time, I think we should just do like a fighting pit kind of thing where we just punch each other, like fight each other.
yeah, no, that was fun the last time.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
next time don't talk about fucking obstacle courses then. How about that?
All right, language. I appreciate the obstacle
Blight.
course. I feel like you're misunderstanding. I had a really nice time.
Blight,
This was fun.
are your friends always this violent?
It was pretty fun.
I mean, yeah.
I see. Interesting. Okay.
Frank says hello.
Oh. Well, what's up?
So,
Frank.
I like how with the 3 I still had a 24 day.
That was insane.
It's 11.
It's a law.
But then he uses channel divinity.
boy struck.
okay, so you guys
Not a modifier.
you guys make it to the end. Food's prepared and brought to the table as you guys begin getting prepared for the night and
Because I
for
was fighting, I'm very hungry.
the journey upcoming.
Right.
Yeah. I have
Because-
one more day for being asleep, right?
Yes, you're one more day for Out being asleep. Also, one more day for she to arrive.
She?
That's her
That's
name.
the dragon.
Blight Junior. To arrive at the base of the Cloud Steps. Also, all the information that you have as to where Locke is that it's west of the Cloud Steps.
Yeah. If only we had a library in Blythtopia. A Blythebrary.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you did.
But we don't, because books are for nerds.
We're working on it.
Oh, we've
Lifetopia is a new place.
been here for 2 years.
That's relatively new for places. So, like,
It's not logic. I can't find fault in it.
while we're on our journeys, we can get books and build a library for Lifetopia.
Are we doing that now?
Now we are.
We're librarians?
I mean,
So we just go steal some books and bring them back.
Michael,
Librarians?
Michael, add it to the Pinterest.
We're librarians now.
We're going to be librarians. All done. I'll take out my
Are we
tiny
using the
notebook
Bright
again.
decimal system, or like what are we? How are we organizing these? The Bluey Bright system.
The blue
By
decimal.
color
I
and
de-
size.
Books.
That's how. No,
That's literally the worst
PPs.
way ever.
That's how you organize PPs.
Blood, how many books do you want me to steal for you when we leave out here?
All of them. I want Lifetopia to be large. Not Lifetopia, Blythe. What did we?
The Blytheberry.
Oh, wait, I feel like.
Blythe the Noble.
oh my god.
We used to have a Blythe a Million, but that got shut down. So no one reads print anymore.
Rip.
Now it's coming back.
There's books that don't even like them.
Is this a Blythe in books? Walden books.
There's one over by on Delby Brain.
Okay, focus for
that
the
a
love
bam right
of all
there?
that is holy.
Dot.
We need all of the books so we can build our
I mean,
what is it?
Blytheberry.
Blytheberry.
Blackberry.
Library.
Too late now.
Brary.
It's just really hard to
what are
say.
we even supposed to be finding him? Supposedly, we already know who this
Yeah, we're gonna know what he looks like. So hopefully he has a sign that says, "Yo, I'm here to fight."
Yeah.
Yo.
I feel like that's how I would know.
Do you guys
Like that's the guy.
have any type of plan for what we're doing, or just kind of winging it, like always? Got it. Let's go.
The game's back together, right?
You saw how long we just spent on my obstacle course, so that's
Yeah.
the answer right
It
there.
was like 6 hours.
That I
It's great.
just randomly decided to.
You
Yep.
know, for improvising, tip, top notch. 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
The tough tatter
The tough tether.
coming to us in the new year. That name.
It's on the.
It fell onto my microphone, all right?
Right there.
It's on,
Wait.
The larva's right there.
Yeah,
That's
no.
really a larva?
It first fell on my microphone stand.
Is that not a? Is that a
There's
popcorn
No, it's an ant larva. They're carpenter ants.
Are you sure it was a
Yes, I know what it is.
squishy?
Rebecca,
Squishy?
Rebecca, we are 2 streams into dealing with this. I know what it is.
No, if you eat
I
it,
don't
it's
feel
good
comfortable
protein.
staying here tonight. I'm gonna need a hotel.
Go. I don't
Eat it. It's good protein.
That's true.
take your kids with you.
That's
I
how Bear
will.
Grylls do it.
Okay.
Drink your own piss.
The fuck are you guys doing? I swear to God.
I'm getting a hotel.
Adapt.
Hey,
Improvise.
Provides adapt.
And overcome.
do we have any way of researching what we need to know about
Lock.
Locke?
Does anybody in Blytopia know how far Locke is away from the Cloud Steps?
I feel like everyone's from your plane, right?
Yes, so we don't know much about.
Because if nobody here can give us that information, it was kind of pointless for God to tell us to look for it, wasn't it?
Well, you're from like Valoria, or not Valoria, I'm sorry, like the Tier Mountains, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
You know where Locke is?
Basically a train.
Would I know anything about it?
Sure.
Other side of the world.
Do you know anything about it? Like any rumblings?
Not offhand. I mean, I suppose I could.
Do we know any lore or anyone who you might know about Locke?
I could contact Lazarus, but he's probably over me by now.
Do none of you
This would
have
be the 4th
maps?
time you called him today.
Is this
No,
not
it's
the
a new
same
day.
I mean,
It's the next day.
I don't know.
No, it's not.
I feel like it's a different day.
This is the
It is because remember we slept all day into the next evening.
Did we?
So you guys,
When we went to go find Finnick.
you guys talked to him.
I don't know.
You guys,
No, this is a different day.
you guys talked to him before you guys left the town, right?
Yes.
Right.
Talked to him when you got into the desert when you first found the roots.
Okay.
Slept for 8 hours. Then talked to him 2 more times since then.
Did we?
Yes.
Oh, we've only talked to him twice.
No.
I will consult the notes.
You can consult the notes. I'm pretty sure you guys have talked to him at least 3 times in a 24-hour period.
I mean, that's kind of his deal. So.
Listen, you don't want to overstay my welcome there.
No, I get it, man.
Because I'm assuming he's gonna start getting snappy and say, "Ooh, why do you need me for everything?"
See, now you sound like the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Do none of you have a map or anything of the world?
No, we got burned up in the fireplace.
We don't talk about maps.
We knew a guy. We knew a guy.
I understand.
All right, people.
Map go now.
That's not proper English.
What's
Common.
English?
Proper common.
English. Speaking of common.
Speaking of common.
Whatever it is, you sing it.
Right, that's primordial.
We have to figure out where Locke is.
Right.
I feel like there isn't going to be a sign that says "This way, ye Locke."
No, probably not. Not in this universe.
Why wouldn't there be?
Because it's this
I
universe.
can't find any flaw in that logic.
Because whatchamacallit's not going to a town, she's going to the bottom of the Cloudstep Mountains.
Well, let's get to walking.
So
These boots were made for.
we know it's west, right?
Like,
Right.
do you
So when
do
we
you
get to the
know
cloud steps, we just head west and hopefully.
do you
we
know a
get-
scrying spell?
No.
Oh, does anyone here scry?
No.
No,
I took
Does
teleportation
anybody
circle
here have better
instead.
armor or shield?
Not me.
I mean it's on me.
My prerogative was going to be that presumably the cloud steps are somewhat populated,
I would assume so.
especially considering what a whole portal to a tournament,
It's gonna be like
thousands of souls, right?
So we can ask them.
Village when we get there.
Presumably, I would assume.
But what if they lie?
But I mean, you know what I'm saying. You know what happens when you assume,
Yeah, no. Don't say it.
right? So
I don't know what happens when you assume.
Oh well, Ted, listen. When you assume,
I hear
things,
scary
you-
rumors
you-
about the distance between the
You
clouds.
make an ass out of you and me.
All right, language.
Why though?
There's scary children along the way.
But anyway,
Can we like give him just a disadvantage next time he rolls something?
from
Anything, just
I-
because of that?
I feel like the plan we made at a previous date was that we were going to train until she landed somewhere,
That's what I
and I
thought.
don't understand why we're being pressed
I built this
to
damn
do
house.
things when we don't have the ability to gain that information.
Built this
I mean,
damn
we can
house.
ask around.
To the people in Blythtopia who don't know anything,
We could pray on it if you want us to.
pertinent to our journey here.
I can make another obstacle course.
Don't speak ill of Blyththopians.
I feel
Thank
like
you,
Is there
Blythe.
anybody in Blythtopia that would know, or anybody from?
I can ask around. I mean, not all of them were born in the elemental planes, but
Well, there's all the
Your
old
chances
people that
aren't
used
good.
to live in what did this used to be called?
Samakot.
Samakot. All those people came back.
Maybe we should ask one of them if they've ever been out and about.
What was Samakot before?
It was a port city.
So they probably know.
Can your royal Queen Blythe put out a word that we're looking for somebody?
My feet are stuck.
I don't know. You just go to the end
About
and ask.
this.
You guys are in the inn.
Oh,
We're in the
That's what you guys are eating.
So what do you want me to put up like a flyer?
This dear
I
bullshit.
don't know. Can't you do like a royal decree or something?
Do we have like a blackboard, like a bulletin board with like
Do
we're like missing
I had a
dogs?
bulletin board, so I'm glad that we have a whiteboard.
Don't put your head down, Ansel.
Oh my god!
Ants will fall on your neck,
And then you can't
Please.
see them.
and then you'll have neck ants.
Just don't care.
On his ear.
I want to believe you.
So I would like to draft up a letter
Hear ye.
to put on the blackboard.
Can you give us verbatim what it says?
Hear ye.
Please. Hear ye, hear ye.
Hear yeet, hear yeet.
Yes.
Gangs back together.
We all have disadvantage.
I'm fucking done.
My dear Blyththopians, I am in search of some information on a town called Locke.
Question mark.
The best part is she's announcing it while she's writing it.
Oh no,
No, I feel like Fella's gonna be writing it. Town? Question mark.
Don't do that.
Is he the stenographer of the town too?
Just for
Dictated
me.
but not read.
He's a sweet boy.
We're working on his penmanship for when he has to take over the town.
So the
On my-
penmanship looks like a serial
not
killer.
good. Yeah.
It's like magazine.
It's like Charlie, it's just fucking symbols. Oh no. Is that a literary?
No! I feel like his penmanship is probably actually fine.
Shane is so
Getting him
tired.
ready to be like my second in command.
Sorry, Shane. Do you
Okay.
wanna drink?
Why? He's a child.
When I go on adventures, I need someone to watch the town.
And honestly,
Well, yeah, I can
I've
force him
lived in
into.
Samarkand all my life, and I've guarded with my body now.
How old is this man?
I can.
He's in his early teens.
I can mold him
Let the
to
child do it.
Put
to what I need, and he won't try to like.
Don't y'all have like village elders?
I'm gonna
Well,
encourage him. I'm gonna be like, you can do it.
You
I
serve
trust that
me.
You can take care of the village while they're gone.
Okay.
He won't
Finish the letter.
Sir Blythe.
Have village elders or something.
Please meet us. Us being Queen Blythe, myself, and my fellow
Subordinates.
adventurer people.
It's better than I thought it was gonna be.
First time I haven't heard subjects.
Subjects.
You can't.
Did you want me to put adventure people or subjects?
Subjects.
Okay.
He stalled it.
Does a line through adventurers, right subject, does Blythe's initials next to it?
Yes.
Like it's notarized.
Please meet us tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing it.
Tomorrow at high noon for tea.
High noon.
I like it.
Oh, we're having tea?
Yeah.
All right.
When we get some information,
It's gonna be like super
Phil,
pleasant,
where
guys.
that's he.
Does anyone remember what the start of the letter was? Because I'm gone.
It was here, eat, here, eat. That's why you're gone.
Ooh, yeah.
Did you,
Yeah, town criers. Ooh,
Blythe? Did you want one of these?
No, this is going onto the Blythe board, which all of my loyal subjects read regularly.
I hope
Can I yell it?
Oh my gosh. Blythe book.
Oh my god.
Did you update your Blythe book account today?
Sure. The glitter.
Not her glitter. Yeah,
I feel like my racist aunt's on
I feel like it would be called glitter.
I feel like it'd be blank space, and you only get to have one top friend.
peeking around for a second. Like she got caught.
Yes.
Tom is not judgmental.
Tom never sold my family secrets.
Blythe, do you want one of these put in the subterranean Blythe board?
Yes.
Understood.
Just in case.
Fellow, can you make another one?
Life Chan.
Oh,
Subterranean.
yes. Yes.
Life Chan?
That's good. That's
I'll
good.
take that down to the Blythe Chan.
Yes!
This is /Blythe.
I just want to go to bed.
You can't.
You guys have won. You beat me today. You win D&D. Congratulations, everybody.
D&D.
We managed to crush Shane's spirit. Yay!
I do that every day.
I've never said the words "you win" until you
lost.
lose D&D.
No,
Okay.
we did lose that session.
We super lost that
We
session.
lost.
Which I am still affected by daily.
I feel like the year anniversary that's coming up.
No,
True.
no,
Yes, it is.
I'm not playing.
Yeah, well, you're not playing. You're storytelling.
No.
Joke's on him. It's gonna be a surprise session.
Surprise, here's your paperwork.
Surprise, Rise the old lady that was murdered by Shane.
I didn't murder her.
Yeah, well, her ghost doesn't think that.
She died of heart disease.
Oh my god.
I threw a tomahawk through your hands.
You shot me so
She had heart disease. She had a poor diet of pig fats. All right, don't blame me for that.
And being scared all the time.
Don't blame me for
All
that.
right, so are we fast forward to high noon?
I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss?
I would like to take a long rest if we're
I would also like to
if
take a long
we are
rest.
What's
if
what
we
else
are
is
done
on the
discussing
post?
things.
Blythe, is there
Love Queen Blythe.
XO.
Blythe? Do you keep an
No, it's too
armory or
personal.
weapons
Hugs.
anyway?
Dictated but not read.
Or like
It's true. You don't want a too personal connection with people.
I feel like we should have some things to go into.
Did you not come with weapons, Tyr?
I did, but like these are
saw
just
how he
to
did with the
protect
sharks.
myself
He
while I'm
didn't
traveling
talk
around.
about
I don't really have anything to enter
Can I look at his
magical
stuff?
tournament.
What kind of stuff do you have?
And I'm gonna show him like my.
He's got two.
Oh no, I have your stuff because your stuff's. Remember the water's in the bag.
You saw what,
So I'm gonna start taking out your stuff.
you saw what Bernice did to
Here's
him.
a short sword. Here's a short sword. Here's my
You
armor.
have a lot of short swords.
Yeah,
Two?
I enjoy short swords.
Yeah.
Do you
two
also
more
have
than-
a convertible?
I feel like that's a lot.
A convertible.
What kind of armor is it?
Just basic leather armor, studded leather armor.
Yikes.
Studded?
Yeah.
You got that right.
I did.
Okay.
Well, maybe
I picked up what you were putting down.
maybe when we get to Locke, Locke has a leather worker who can make you a better. No, he's dead.
I mean, maybe we could be somebody up to take that.
Not in Blythtopia?
We don't
Not here.
Here, we
We
don't.
gotta steal the stuff.
Here,
after
unless
we
they're
get
part
out
of the
here.
group, we don't beat up innocents.
We just beat up
We're
each
being
other.
productive.
Listen, when we leave
Yeah.
the city, then we can talk about
Don't look at me.
So we'll take an assessment.
What?
No! No TikToks!
We'll take an assessment. If we can find out more
I swear to
information
God.
about Locke, maybe they have a weaponry. When we get there, we can maybe get you some new stuff.
Yeah.
Write that down that you want to do that,
Jot
because
that
I'm
down.
gonna forget.
I feel like
Oh,
it's
right,
frozen.
Jot that.
But
'cause
it's
on
my
here.
phone and not.
Yeah.
It's because you're connected to the Wi-Fi.
Anyway, anything else that we want to know about?
I
Maybe
mean,
about. Do we have any information on anybody getting through the tournament? We know there's Heavenly Seven.
Half of that.
Half of the Heavenly Seven. But who
3/7 of the Heavenly Seven.
Wow, shut up.
I would personally love to know how long it takes to get to Locke. As we
Instant.
are
I think when we find the person who's been to Locke, perhaps.
true, but we are on a time crunch here.
We are.
Michael is looking feverishly over there because he already asked this question.
I have a pretty.
Michael knows the answer.
We are. I know the answer is
Yeah.
well,
We
but-
speak
Good side knows.
I mean,
English.
we talked about this outside
Common?
of the stream, yes, but
No, they know. Michael knows from the previous campaign.
Exact
well,
days.
yeah, okay.
What's up?
But that,
Doesn't make
that's
it
not
sound
character. In,
No.
Yeah, I know.
Just stop playing with that.
So why are we?
Oh my god.
Stop.
You shook your head at us. For shame. For shame.
Anyway, so
Like the poop.
big breakfast in the morning. And let's get this bread.
I'll end my night praying.
Oh.
I'll go ahead and
I swear to God! I swear to you!
I'll go ahead and ask any of my people too if they know anything about Locke.
I don't think I've ever seen Ted overwhelmed. Well, he's very well.
You do have that one fire elemental, the fire Gensei or Genasi or whatever the fuck you call it.
Genasi.
I don't care anymore.
I'm going to love
That you do remember from home, and he's pretty knowledgeable a decent amount of stuff, but he doesn't know anything about Locke. You kind of talked to him for a little bit about just random other lore, that type of stuff.
I would like to go walk the streets of Blythtopia before bed and just say goodnight to everybody.
Okay.
That's not too personal.
I need to try
hugging
to
them.
pray
I'm giving them
without
kisses.
to drown out this terrible, terrible noise.
Roll a religion check.
Alright, I'll do it. Shit. Here goes. 15 plus 1.
16.
I believe that checks out.
You're
Sorry.
you kind of how do you pray to Ubetao?
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember now. I prayed on the damn ship.
His eyes shut off and it's just 1 0 0.
I think I get like the snake people
You okay?
in the mountains of Appalachia, and I just started gyrating.
So Southern Baptist.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm just like, yeah, you're right.
Or like avatars. I don't know. Pick one.
Right.
Well, those are your choices, and that's it.
People are avatars.
There's no middle ground there.
Both of them gyrate.
It's all a gyrate. Either way.
It's primordial, right?
Sexual.
Shit.
So
Rub your snaky belly hole.
you begin reaching out, trying to get in contact with Ubetao, and it's you don't get a drastic connection with him, but you do feel this primal kind of rage build up inside of you, this growling, this presence, but it kind of fades after a few minutes.
And then this comes back into my goddamn mind.
Yes.
It was part of your primal rage. Feel the primordial.
I am, for the evening, I'm going to take my bedroll, and I'm going to go on the outskirts of town where the Phoenix Egg is.
So as you go into your room to grab the room at Blythe's to grab your bedroll,
Yeah.
the dog's just sitting there and it just stares at you as you walk
What do
in.
we name
I'm
him?
praying. You're on your
What
own,
did you
buddy.
name him?
I don't remember. I know we did name him.
Don't look at me.
Did we ever send out any fire elementals to look at the egg?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. No, we didn't.
Probably something we should have done.
Or what if they're like afraid of it?
Maybe next time.
I don't know that they'd be afraid of it.
Next time on Johnny
Can we
Quest.
ask the dog if it knows about the tournament?
Yeah, catch your ass, the dog.
I'm gonna unbroken eye contact. Sleeping bag.
He's closed the door as you leave.
Yeah, I'm not
Yes.
with you, so I'm praying. So you're on.
No,
Okay.
it's all right.
Blythe, you go and talk to the people, telling everybody good night, that their queen is going to rest. Torok, you finish your prayers. Ted, you pray. What are you two doing?
I'm gonna shoot a quick.
Hey, it's your boy again.
Yo, it's your boy, Skinny Penis.
That is a 13.
13.
I'm assuming that doesn't get me.
It does not get you. You get a solid contact with something, but you don't.
Just hard styling
There's a hard squat right
for
on
20
there.
minutes.
It's a good squat. It's a deep squat too.
Horse stand.
Tier, what are you doing, buddy?
Sit in my room and
Go sleep.
It's a good choice. I like that one.
Fortnite dancing.
That's my favorite so far.
The Fortnite dancing in
No,
his room.
he went. I didn't look at him. I didn't acknowledge with eye contact what he was doing. I moved on myself.
Okay.
The second he said that he was sitting in his
It
room.
was high noon. Please, God. High noon.
Morning comes. You all eat breakfast.
Nothing happened with the egg? Good.
You go out there. It's cool when you get there. It's starting to cool.
Oh, okay.
But
Oh, is that bad?
Yeah.
You better sit on it. You better sit on the
It's
egg.
warm from a booty.
you gotta put it up. You gotta put it up your butt. Catch her. Just
Whoa.
you're not there. No one's there but Ketra.
Booty, booty, booty.
I'm gonna
That's not how chickens.
try to give it my body heat.
It's still hot to you. Like, it still burns your skin. Like, it's still hot, but it is starting to cool compared to where it was, where when you had it sitting on the chains were glowing hot.
Oh, yeah, all right.
But it is starting to cool.
You know, put the sand over it.
Okay.
The sand.
You gonna sit on the sand?
Nah, sit next to it.
So, morning comes. You guys gather in the inn.
Pray.
Are you bringing the egg with you, or?
Big breakfast.
Okay.
Big breakfast. Big lunch.
Jesus.
What'd you get?
You doing?
You're right.
He's like
Third one tonight.
natural 20s in a row today.
Good on you. Good on you. Good on you.
Good on
So,
you, mate.
you guys come together in the tavern again, preparing for the day,
It's all
eating
this
breakfast.
guys, too.
Excuse me, Torok.
Yes.
Do any of your friends know about Phoenix eggs?
I could definitely ask them.
Please do.
Okay. Could I take my rocks to go?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you may.
Tell me they put them in a bag.
I'd like to go down into the under Blythe.
The Underblight? Oh,
Underblight.
dude, I love it.
And I'd like to ask around if anyone knows anything about Phoenix eggs is willing to look at one.
Do you remember the elder fire elemental? It's in your notes. His name is in your notes.
I hope he meets Blizzard in the Underblight.
Please stop hurting me. Please.
Shame. Colorized.
I read a couple.
Please stop.
The guy that you said that I talked to earlier?
Yes.
Just took a picture of how sad he looks.
This photograph.
Diamond makes you cry.
You can go on to something else and I'll let you know when I find it.
Okay, what's everybody else doing?
I would like to go with, because, you know, I'm nervous about the Phoenix egg.
So you're going with.
Yeah, I'll go with Torok.
Okay, what are you four doing?
Fuck it, I'll go.
Okay. Apparently, we're taking a full adventure into the Underblythe.
let's go bring the doggy.
What?
No, it's not.
I really don't remember what we named him.
Jogger.
What did we name
Jogrin?
the dog?
I don't know.
So you find him, and he's kind of leading he's kind of taking up the role of leadership when you're not around. He is an elder. He's an elder in like reputation, but he's probably about your age, maybe a little bit older. He was Magus's best friend.
Right.
They kind of grew up together, and he's kind of taking like the leadership role when you're not around. And you kind of walk up to him as he's sitting here talking to a couple, and he kind of motions for them, and they walk off as you walk up, and he looks at the apparently three of you as you approach.
Hello, Jogger.
Can I help you?
So we came across a very interesting discovery yesterday.
Was it more of our kind scattered across the plain?
No.
The beast that we felt in the desert?
Yes, but hold on. You're going too fast for the rock. I talk slow. We found a really strong beast out there. It was killing a phoenix.
It's not unheard of, but it's not horribly common.
We recovered the phoenix egg. It is outside of town.
You removed it from its ash.
Yes.
Phoenix ash burns hotter than the material plane. It's one of the few things that provide enough heat for a phoenix egg to incubate.
I think we screwed it up then.
We still have a teleport.
Do you think we could take it back? And it would still be hot?
The ash, potentially, but how would you plan to get back?
It was a day's journey.
No, it wasn't.
But we have the teleportation circle.
No, only
that
back.
you made.
It was 3 days journey.
Do you know of any alternatives then? We've already moved the egg back here.
Potentially submerge it in lava might be hard enough.
I think we're fresh out of lava.
What about a brazier or a fire?
That's gonna be hot enough.
Cut Torok inevitably.
You're talking about needing something in the rather high temperature. A gate to the fire plane might work.
Is this not the phoenix though that watches over the material plane?
Exactly, it's the one that provides the light of fire here.
So if we put it back in the fire plane,
Just put it near it. There's enough heat hopefully pouring through.
alright.
Where's that gate?
At the Ember Isles.
Your other option would be to try and find another way to build a fire that hot.
Let's do that one.
Do you have a suggestion?
Not offhand. We can attempt to tunnel down and see if there's a magma pool below Blythtopia, but
That could be dangerous.
you know what happens when you open up a magma pool.
I think we'd be comfortable, but
It goes up.
right.
So if you build a fire and create one hole in and the other hole at a higher elevation,
Well,
it's a sudden flow and causes a.
thank you for your advice and your direction. We'll see what we can do.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No.
Do you know anything about a town called Locke?
He came to me last night. I did not. I talked to several of the others within the village. The giants spoke of it loosely,
Okay.
saying that there was stone giants that used to live near there that were carvers and artisans. Their work was well known within the city of Brass. But nothing else too major was discussed.
Okay.
You might have a better luck with some of the traders, the old fisher traders and stuff like that throughout the town.
Okay. Wonderful.
I'm going to continue getting people ready and motivated to for when you leave.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you're doing.
Are we still sending some of us to the tree to look into that? We had discussed it previously.
We did. It makes me nervous. There's some strange force out there. A disembodied voice that seeks followers.
More tempting than that of the primordial elements.
I'm not sure I'm ready to trust any god right now.
So
I know I don't
prepare
speak
but
for-
don't assume.
I guess. Yes.
Alright.
I don't want to speak for our people, but I also don't want to send some of our most vulnerable out there. I think those of us that are leading the people tend to be a little bit more stubborn and reserved, whereas others might find a voice seeking destruction of the gods to be
An opportunity.
yes.
It's understandable. I'll have some of our more resilient members ready, and we'll go from there.
Would you go with them, or are you staying here?
I would assume that you'd wish for me to stay here to provide some type of leadership.
I think that would be necessary.
The rumor is that Blythe plans to have the child lead in her stead.
No. Training him.
She seems to think that he will be worthy of that position later. But Have I consulted with you?
What?
Have we consulted on this? Is he a good leader?
Who? Oh?
No. Jogren.
I don't even know who that is.
He was my husband's friend as a kid.
Best friend growing up.
I mean, I I'd be okay with it.
I've consulted with Blythe
Oh my
already, and I
gosh.
think
It should be like a council, not just one person. I'll work on it.
I've consulted with Blythe, and she thinks that you would be a good person in her stead. In fact, she's talking about the council, and maybe you could represent the fire elementals in the council. We'll get there. We're working on it.
I'm not really there.
I don't know if I'm the best for leadership.
You know full well you are the best for leadership. Why do you fear leading?
He looks at you and he goes, besides the fact that I've enjoyed or had the experience of being in slavery for the past several years, my decision making clearly isn't the best.
I think that gives you another outlook that needs to be present.
Oh.
You know what it's like to be on the unfortunate side of life.
I'll speak to some of the others and get their feel for it. When do you all leave?
Tomorrow. Perhaps maybe we come up with a mini council. A set of leaders that we think could work together to make decisions.
I would suggest that versus just leaving it on me, but if you need to, I'll take the responsibility.
I will speak with Blythe.
All right, is there anything else that you need from down here?
I got a question for you. In your travels, have you met a band of dwarves who like to tunnel deep into the earth and exploit the riches therein?
That sounds like traditional dwarves.
This particular one, though, was an evil dwarf. More evil than the rest of them.
I don't recognize your race offhand, what you are, but I'm from the Fire and Earth plane. I've actually only been here for the past several months.
So, no?
No, I do not have knowledge of that. My apologies.
Don't trust dwarves.
I will keep that in the back of my mind. See, he kind of waves you all, kind of gives Torok a soft bow as he turns to the rest of the group that he was working with.
Okay, so I will be back. I'm gonna go to where the Phoenix Egg is, and I'm gonna call my elemental Orion. Can you please attempt to keep this warm? Maybe burrow as much as you can.
Kind of muscles himself into the sand a little bit and creates like a little inferno around the egg.
Does it look like it's...
I mean, it's hotter, but you can't tell how hot it's supposed to be.
Just do your best. I think that might buy me some time. Drat.
What are the rest of you doing?
I need to go back and consult with Blythe.
So, Blythe, are you waiting at the inn for
I feel like
the
I
Blown meeting, I assume?
high tea ready.
Okay, so you're getting your meals, the lunch tea ready? High tea.
The burrito sandwiches and like little pastries. It's tea. You have little finger foods.
So, as this
She places some lizard fingers on the table.
As this group of relatively worn adventurers in tier are sitting at this high table in this elevated platform within this tavern, you know, the now bearded Ted, the grizzled and worn Kedra, the massive stone behemoth that is Torok, the fully armor-clad Solomon are sitting at this table. There is a spread of fine teas and finger sandwiches before you all.
That's great.
As people,
the pinkies.
as people begin coming in from the
Hire
town,
the pinky, the fancy.
getting small drinks and sitting down at different tables all over. This seems to be the equivalent of a Blythe town meeting.
That's a lot of pinkies. This tea is delicious.
So
Alright.
your townsfolk are gathering.
It is time to
This is good. This is a
pour
good
the
Ceylon.
tea.
Oh, boy, spill that tea, sis.
So nothing else has rained recently. So
Way to jinx it. I hope things fall in your ears.
Oh, that's
Wow.
specific.
And burrow in. That's
Don't bother him the most in his ears.
straight to it.
All right.
Just like
okay.
You said to burrow ants in his ears.
He says the meanest things to me. That's not
Blythe.
bad.
Blythe.
We're contemplating homicide with our 4-year-old today about me.
Shane's just too mean.
Plot your murder? I thought you were supposed to murder him.
He's the one that's planning my murder.
Quick question.
Okay, yes. Yes, Turok.
So has anybody showed up to this tea?
Yeah, townsfolk.
Of course, everybody checks their life face.
This is the equivalent of a town meeting in Blythe.
I spoke to Jaggerin about leading the town tomorrow while we're gone. He doesn't feel comfortable doing it alone. He would prefer a council of some sort.
Well, that's what we discussed at a council. That's why we're training fellow.
But I think he wants it done like quicker, like a temporary council.
But who can we trust?
Is there like 5 people we could put on the council, like Jaggerin and maybe 4 others?
Ooh, I have a good idea.
Yes.
So we're gonna take everybody's names from the town, and we're gonna put them in a big hat.
Oh.
And we're gonna draw out 5
Sounds like American politics.
people.
I like
4,
it.
because we want
logic.
whatever his name is.
Jaggerin.
Jaggerin. So we'll pick out 4 other people. That way it's fair, everybody has a chance, and every time we go away we can have 4 new people.
What if they don't want to lead?
Then we'll pick a new name. We'll throw away their name, and they can't do it again.
Understood.
Alright.
I'll start writing down everybody's name then, I guess.
There's like 250 people that live in Blythtopia.
I'll look over to Fellow.
I feel like
Alright, Fellow, go ahead and start writing down everybody's
I feel
name.
like this wouldn't have been the first time that Blythe would do this. So we probably already have everybody's names written down on a hat.
I'll play for that.
She already has this roulette board set up that we can just spin freely whenever.
Life of fortune.
Misfortune.
No. There's lots of births happening in Blythtopia because of a flourishing city.
What's the most popular name in Blythtopia?
We're all thankful for that.
Oh my god.
Top baby names. Number 2. Number 3, Fred. Number 4, Eric.
Okay.
How many people here look like they're not rock people?
Most of the stone people, as you call them, have not shown up. They don't.
Okay, because obviously the travelers.
This is predominantly for the upper city of Blythe.
Okay.
What do you mean the upper city?
The city on the surface.
Not the Underblight.
Excuse me, has anyone been to Locke before?
Most of the group don't seem to respond to your question. As they're trying to.
What about
Hey, you don't talk to my loyal subjects in this
do they
life?
call it locked or do they have
We need to get to Locke. The bulletin, the bright board said if you knew about Locke.
The meeting of the Blythe Bulletin shall now begin.
Everybody sit
Please
down.
rise in favor of Blythe.
Who's taking a minute?
It's a pretty solid statement, though. The bulletin did say if you knew about Locke, why would
These are the equivalent of town square meetings for
I'm not
Blythe.
crazy. Not crazy.
but still, it said people who know about Locke come.
They were also all talking, and he was yelling at them.
Hey,
Where's the rest of you?
So, Dorog makes an announcement as everybody quiets down and sits down and begins looking at the table.
My loyal subjects. These are my other loyal subjects, and they have some questions about Locke, which we will be traveling to shortly. In our... What's the word I'm looking for?
Stead.
Instead, we will have a council, and we'll be drawing names for that at the end. It's gonna be part of the council.
If you donate 5 pebbles, I'll put an extra ticket in for you.
No,
no, it's 5 pebbles and then you get 10 tickets.
no bribing.
No, it's like
This is a
Oh,
fair.
they can't bribe random politics?
This is a fair drawing.
Okay.
It's not a
my tools. Our
Infiltrations.
tools.
Okay, so what are your questions you have for my people?
Has anyone traveled to Locke before?
See like 2 or 3 hands kind of come up.
All right, you.
Yes, so you
What's
so.
the difference between now and 30 seconds ago?
Yeah, right? Fuck. I'm gonna be like, you. Tell me what you know of the town, please.
somebody kind of stands up. He's an older gentleman.
Y'all laughed.
Yes, sir, you.
Y'all laughed it.
He's kind of seems like he's been weathered, long said fisherman.
Crazy
You seem weathered and also a fisherman.
That's Harold.
How's it going, Harry? Are you enjoying your
What?
famous sandwiches?
No. We don't have nicknames like that unless he wants it.
Harold. R.I.P. Harold. R.I.P. Harold.
We have a Harry. He's over there.
I feel like if I was going to ask a dragon what her name is, it sounds like we force nicknames on people.
We don't.
do.
No.
I do all the
So
time.
you're forcing nicknames on people. This is-
Harold, tell me about Locke.
There you go.
It's like, when I was a sailor and a fisherman, we used to visit near there.
What's that
We
like?
go into the blood moors and sometimes do trade up into the city.
Neat. What do they have there?
Well, about 30 or 40 years ago, there was a fine little establishment there. It was pretty nice. I used to go and get these things called kaidels.
That sounds wonderful.
You describe what is a
Well,
Kaidel.
it's like 2 pieces of bread on either side of an assortment of meats and vegetation. It's delicious. Sometimes with a dash of mayo or mustard.
Is this old man describing a sandwich?
Here's meat.
I know, I was there.
Kinds of meat.
Now give him a creed. Do it.
I don't remember what a creed was.
Is it that?
Oh, right.
Wasn't as impressionable.
Yes.
All right, so 100 years
That
ago,
one
you were
didn't
saying
go
what?
through.
30 or 40 years ago.
Obviously not.
Okay.
All right. Have you been there recently?
Not since all the trade routes went out.
How long did it take for you to get from the cloud steps to Locke?
I came up through the blood moors.
Do you know where the cloud steps
Thank you for your time, Harold.
Next.
He sits down.
All right. Who else?
Next. Somebody less useless. There you go.
It's a younger gentleman, kind of attempting to grow a beard, but it's kind of patchy in areas.
That one,
Problem too.
You with the terrible beard, step up.
that one's
Bring it out, man.
I mean, look at this.
I was gonna
I know. It's
Look at
impressive.
that.
I know. It's not.
You're just gonna wheeze and sticks.
What were you gonna
Does
name
it
it?
have a belt of dwarven kind?
Yeah.
It's a
Isn't that ironic?
That's why I said
Yeah.
Harry was the one in the back.
So he stands up.
Harry, thank you for your time. Go ahead.
Have you been recently to Locke?
About a year and a half ago.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about it? Township,
Relatively established towns in the Locarian Chasm. They fill most of it now.
do they still have Kaidels?
I wasn't there to eat. I was there for trade.
They have trade.
Some.
Blacksmith, smithing, any kind of armor.
Majority is imports. They trade art for supplies.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's not town. Any warriors there? 'Cause we're told to go there looking for a warrior.
Not that I saw. They got a temple.
Temple. Ooh, temple to what?
Pello.
Okay.
It's pretty run down.
That down.
How did you get there?
By horse.
From where?
From. Swear to God.
From where? From where?
From the cloud.
From Pharaoh's.
From Pharaoh's. Did you pass the cloud steps?
I mean, you could see him in the distance, maybe a little bit.
We need to figure out how long it takes from the cloud steps to Locke.
But what part of the Cloud Steps?
Right at the mouth.
Because you have the Blackstag clan. They live at the base of the Cloud Steps.
What
Sure,
are they?
there.
That's a kind of a traveling group. They live in that general area.
Harry, if I may.
This is Harry too.
No, the other one was Harold. This is Harry. You didn't hear me name him? I introduced him.
motherfucking Christ.
Harry,
You couldn't give
Harry,
Harold
if I
a
may. You look dashing today.
I'm really trying. It's
see.
not coming in the best, but
but
I've been trying the oils that Blythe gave me. They burn a little bit, but I think it's
Again,
okay.
I'm seeing it coming
It's a
through.
good burn.
Anyways, Harry,
Oh.
would any of those clans be inclined to look like a Dragonland there?
Unicorn.
Probably. I don't see too much of an issue with the Blackstags. They're relatively friendly.
So we can. Well, how far would it be from there?
Probably about 7 days or so.
Understood. The Black Stags, you said.
Yes, they're a druidic clan.
Wait, what?
The Black Stag?
They're a druidic clan. They travel through most of the Black Stag canyons.
Yeah. That's good.
What exactly do they do? They
like your beard.
They're nomadic.
Nomadic, yeah.
They maintain a lot of the nature and whatnot down there. I didn't do much dealings with them. We would bring basic food supplies and whatnots to Locke and then kind of head on out.
What's a whatnot?
Foods, preservatives, medicines.
Very good.
Go on.
Is there anything else you'll need? That's about the best I got for you.
Thank you, Harry. You have been very
Thank you so much. That was a lot
for your
than fear.
information.
Sits down, rubbing his face.
And then you said there was 3 people, right?
Mhm.
I'm a third person.
It's a younger woman, probably in her mid to late 20s.
Serafina. Her name is Serafina.
Miss Serafina.
It's like Aquafina's sister.
Wow.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's just her name.
I love Aquafina.
She stands up and kind of adjusts her dress and everything. She's very to-do. Her hair is kind of pulled up. She seems like a very elegant dress kind of hanging off of her. And she goes, yes,
You've been to Locke.
several times. It's a beautiful city.
When's the last time you were there?
Oh, probably about 6 months ago. My fiance and I were supposed to meet, but he never showed up.
Who's your fiance?
His name was Eric. Beautiful man.
Congratulations.
All right, put a pin in that. We're looking for Eric. Where is Eric coming from?
Oh, he left from here a couple days prior to me. We were supposed to take on 2 different trade vessels, but I never saw him when I got there.
Do we know about this already?
No, probably not. I would assume it hasn't been brought to you just yet.
There's someone missing from Blytopia. How do we not know?
What vessel?
He was on the Queen's Revenge.
Queen's Revenge. That's your vessel, the Queen's Revenge?
No. That'd be a driven trade vessel that would bring.
Is that the one that blew up? No, I'm not asking her. But
No.
I'm just saying in general. Okay.
This is only a few months ago.
Okay. Queen's Revenge. What port was it coming out of?
They were heading down from the Tiamounts, one of the small ports off there. They stopped here, and then they were going to hit into down towards the base of the Cloud Steps, a couple of small little ports down there, then into the Bloodmoors, and we were supposed to travel north. I was being dropped off in Pharos, and I was going to head south.
Okay. South and south. Do you know how long the journey is from the Cloud Steps?
To Locke?
To Locke.
If you get off on one of those ports, what's your issue?
Your wife.
She's watching cis videos.
Solid. If you get off one of the port cities near the Cloud Steps, it's probably about 10 days from the port.
10 days. What if we don't have 10 days? Is there a more direct way to Locke?
I've heard that the Black Stags have a means of travel that's a little
so
bit
the
faster.
Black Stags are coming up again. Okay.
And the other option is they're all the Eagle Riders of the southern ports.
Remember the
The
Eagle
Eagle
Riders?
Riders, who are they?
Well, they ride eagles. I haven't been there.
I feel like that costs money.
I feel like it's still a viable option. How,
That is a
how
very
quickly
viable
travel do you know that just
I don't know. I went through Valoria and went down by carriage.
You were supposed to meet Eric in the city or in the village when?
A few months ago?
Here?
And you haven't seen him since that.
Well, we fell in love here. It was going to be our honeymoon.
Oh, okay.
How long ago?
Like, probably 3 or 4 months.
And you.
F.
I thought maybe.
Is there a picture of him on Blythespace?
No, I assume that he just got caught up in travels and the ship just had some problems.
Right.
Is that frequent?
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little bit of a
Does he go on business trips a lot?
flighty heart. He journeys sometimes on his own.
Honey.
Are you trying to convince this woman that her husband left her?
Ooh, honey, no. This is tea time, girl.
What
Your husband's cheating on you, Dad.
what race is Seraphina?
You mean Kaidel?
Human.
Or Creed?
What race is Eric?
Human.
That we knew it.
What race?
I think he left you.
Jesus Christ, Ted.
His boat could have just been caught up in a storm. We were only in lock for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Maybe he's dead then.
Ah! Stop it!
One
Why
or
don't you
the other.
post his picture on
You should
Blythespace
hope for the best.
and maybe someone has some
And plan for
information?
the worst.
I'll go and meet with with an artist to see if they can do a rendition of him, because photography doesn't exist.
Meet with a priest.
Serafina, you're seeming
what I
very
meant.
upset. We know that.
What else would I have meant?
I don't know.
Give him his last rites.
Would you be able to
the man
describe
is
him
dead.
a little bit for us?
Maybe
If we run into him, we can
Drop this.
let him know.
If I find his bones, I'll bring him back.
Shaggy brown hair. He stands probably about 5'6", 5'7".
Oh, manlet. All right.
As long as 5'6".
Triggered.
Son of a bitch.
He has these beautiful emerald green eyes that kind of almost shine through the lights.
Yeah. Maybe we compensate with very large characters, okay? This is fantasy roleplaying.
Oh God.
Jackson just learned the other day that halflings have the lucky ability,
Yeah.
where they can just always get to reroll ones. And Jackson decided that he's going to play halflings from now on.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of you?
It's just the opposite of you.
Where's the rest of you?
What else does he look like? Because so far you're describing Shaggy from Does he travel with a doll?
Shaggy doesn't have eyes, he only has pupils, if you remember correctly.
That's presumptuous.
Damn it, I forgot I took Lucky.
How big does he like his sandwiches?
Kind of.
Right, kind of.
Like,
Is it very big? Can he eat them in one bite?
No, not typically. We
Does he
didn't.
like these little bone-shaped snacks?
No.
do you cut his sandwich diagonal or horizontal?
Diagonal. Diagonal, like a proper person.
Does he like the
Alright. Stop
He is a-
interrogating Serafina.
Gavel.
Order.
Yeah, we're getting a little too serious.
I'll have you know, I cut mine in the middle in a star shape.
The bailiff Torque will escort you out.
You're escorting her out of the building?
No, the people
Oh.
talking over the order.
So,
You will be held in contempt of life.
she described a, sounds like a sailor of sorts. He seemed to be in decent shape, tan skin.
Yeah, is he? Did he join the Navy by chance?
Listen,
Did you
when,
know
when I find his bones, I'll bring him back for
Does he have a
prosperity.
best friend he spends a lot of time around?
You know what they say about the Navy?
He does have a marking on his inner arm.
What's the marking?
It's a brand from his previous life. He did work as a sailor for a bit.
Is he a pirate?
I never asked.
What
He
is
said
the
he was a
brand
sailor
of?
for a bit. It's almost like a crescent hook.
Crescent Oak.
Isn't that a slave thing?
It's like 3 prongs that kind of sits in
Do
a
we know
crescent.
what that brand means?
It's from the deep. It's not a Hydra, is it?
Is that something we could roll on?
Yeah, if you have experience traveling, I would let Ketra, Tyr, and Solomon do it.
What is it?
What's the?
It's an enemy intelligence check.
Can I give everybody guidance?
Or we
Can I give one person guidance?
One person.
All right. Who's gonna be the best
I
at
have
this?
+2
here?
to intelligence.
My intelligence is a +2 as well.
Okay. What? Did anybody else
Can I
know?
stack anything on top
No,
of that?
just
can I
you
stack
three.
like a bardic on that or,
You can't inspire yourself.
or on some on?
Why don't you
on-
inspire me?
Can I?
So I'll give the
inspire
guidance to
him?
him, and then he can inspire it. Right?
You can just dump everything on one person.
Yeah, give me the guidance and
I'm
then
gonna dump it on him.
well,
What are you saying to inspire Ketra to see if he remembers something?
I know you're smart, Ketra.
Thanks.
Man, that was inspiring.
I also believe in you, Captain.
Y'all give me a fucking brain tumor.
It's not a Tula.
Ugh. Alright.
8 and 12.
Oh god, with the inspiration.
I rolled a 4.
And
Are we allowing anybody else to roll?
You all tell me.
Because I mean, I did
15?
roll 4 and
What'd you get?
18.
Fucking doorbell. It keeps on detecting Jackson's shadow.
Tell him to sit down like an old person.
Looking,
Stools are rough.
they are.
Rough on the sphincter.
Looking at as she kind of describes this symbol, you would recognize it as a member of the Deeps. It's It's an organization that runs out of a Freeport city in the southern portion of Valoria.
What does anybody know anything about the Deeps?
What?
Yes, no. Alright. What do I know?
Justin knows.
What do I know?
I know about Blue Sea.
It's an organization. At one point in time, it was a pretty prevalent crime family organization. But they did eventually become a relatively well-known and relatively positive family. They run most of the trade out of the bottom portion of Valoria. The entire city that they run out of is very similar to like Venice. The entire city is actually built on the river delta that comes in.
Okay. Relatively benign tradesmen, tradesfolk,
Tradespeople.
people. Yes. He is.
Why are you glaring at me?
I remember what they worship. Whomst did they worship?
Whomst.
And I'm gonna go back to Seraphina. How exactly did you get mixed up with a member of the Deeps?
He was living here with us for a few months. He said he had some type of vessel issues about 2 years ago in the Ember Isles.
To take care of.
No, there was I guess several vessels that went down in the Ember Isles, and he managed to get a boat here.
Oh.
And what did you say? 2 years ago?
Just about, yes.
Oh. And he made it out of that?
He was picked up by another trade vessel that dropped him off on our ports when he couldn't provide them with any gold or anything.
Dear God bless him.
He lived here. He was working in the farms for most of that time. We fell in love. We were traveling to Locke because he said he knew some family there.
Wait, so you only known him for a few months?
I've known him for about 6 to 8 months.
Like you trying to
And
get
3 of them he was missing?
No, he's been missing since then.
Fire department.
Spring by spring, come on now. When you're a freshman at a Bible college.
Whoa.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
Listening to the love story.
She's like, we were heading there to be married. The Church of Pelor, he said that his family was married there before.
I was thinking,
What's his last name?
Zuani?
I don't know.
he doesn't have a last
Maybe
name.
a significance.
That man don't have
No.
Is
it's not
his
his
father named Matthews?
No.
Does he know anybody by the name of Soren or Guard?
I hate you. I'm gonna start killing people at the table. Divine wrath.
In-game or?
Both. Divine wrath from Pelor will be burning people down.
Wouldn't be the first time.
So she sits back down at her table.
Okay. So we have some intel. Have there, in the past 2 years, has there been any kind of rumbling outside of town of different weird, odd occurrences? I'm trying to figure out if like any of the other games have been like
Somebody stands up and goes, "Well, most of the desert's been turned into a rather large field area.
Yeah, that's weird. Next.
Some animals started walking closer and closer to town, kind of poking their heads into the farms.
Don't touch them.
Yeah, don't touch them.
What kind of animals?
Wolves, which are odd for this area. They predominantly lived in the tier mounts.
Go on, go on.
Really odd. Don't touch them.
They're big, large dire wolves.
Yeah,
Are they
don't touch
fuzzy?
them.
They seem to be.
Alright, cool.
Other than that, there's this large bird that keeps on flying over the orchards.
Yep, don't look
How
at
big
the
is
eye.
it?
And typically, the shadow covers up several trees at once.
Is he also fuzzy?
I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it is.
William, it is important that you tell everybody not to touch those animals.
Is in charge.
You included, William.
Okay, I can handle that the best of my ability.
Thank you, William.
I want to lean over to Ted real quick and whisper in his.
Somebody else needs to go in the chat. My
in the
phone's
side of
dying.
his face.
I like naming.
I'm assuming you don't have ears.
Somebody else needs to be in the chat. My phone's dead.
I'm gonna whisper to you.
Mine's almost dead.
He's totally cheating on her.
It's either that or he's dead. I said that very loudly on purpose.
Do we have any other questions for the citizens?
For her to understand that he's either cheating or dead.
Well,
Mistake.
I'm trying to think of anything else that might be pertinent.
Does anybody wish to find a tournament?
Yeah, these are pertinent positives we're looking for.
So, anything else about any odd occurrences, any more recent inserts to Blytopia?
Well, the Johannes brothers moved in probably about 2 or 3 months ago.
The what?
Johannes.
Oh, I thought you said Jonas, and I was like, really, bro? Alright, my bad. I swear I
Nick,
thought
Joe,
it
and
was
Kevin?
Jonas. I swear I thought it was Jonas.
They have the
like,
J
legit.
sisters too?
Where are they from?
Like dead ass boy.
New Jersey?
They've been working the farms relatively quietly. We didn't. They're relatively disconnected from most of the group.
Alright, mean, it might be someone we might want to ask just additional information about. I've been gone for a pretty long time, and you've been what? Valoria? You've been under the water.
I've been fighting the squids.
Who are the Johannes
So close to my
brothers?
face.
Are you asking me, or are you asking
You're
the
like
guy?
this far away.
With Torok, no?
Look what the knot there that
With
is.
Torok.
It's to the knee.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, they're
I don't know
transplants.
My nose as
They
you
had
stab
some-
this into my face.
They had some issues someplace else and kind of moved into the town.
Ooh.
They've stayed. What are you guys doing?
Aaron's trying to get central.
Oh,
Doing,
my darling.
What's the HY stuff?
You don't know.
They had some type of family trouble someplace else. They really haven't spoken about too much, and they moved into the town when their ship kind of wrecked out in the sea.
Do we trust them?
They seem relatively quiet, but they're hard workers. They've been doing as much as they can to tend and kind of help out for the small little home that they've been given. There's 4 of them that live there.
Frankie, yeah, Joe.
Frankie.
Yeah, Frankie's the little Jonas
I
brother.
forgot about the littlest Jonas.
You did this.
I don't know any Jonas Brothers songs.
They're friends with the Spice Goblins.
With you, baby. So,
What a man gotta do?
so we know about the Johannes brothers.
It's a new one. Have you heard that one?
This is an SOS.
Registered trademark.
We know about Locke.
Yeah. We know
how to get
Eric's cheating or dead.
We know methods to get to
Poor
Locke.
Serafina. I mean, honestly.
So if we're done with this meeting,
Girl, I'm telling you.
it sounds like it's time for the
He's straight up doing.
Do we need to raffle? Here we go with the raffle.
council drawing.
I mean,
Order. All right, Blythe, go ahead and pull the first name.
Shane want to kill himself.
No.
Do you remember when he's like, what do you guys want to
You
do
can
for
read
the
out your
day?
name.
We've done this before. He started.
It looks like the first person is
This is what happens when we don't skip it.
Carolina.
Elderly woman gets up all excited. She goes,
Yeah.
I'm representing the farmers,
Nah, Carolina, she's sassy.
I like a good sass. Huh?
Yeah.
All right, the next name is.
Oh, here we go.
Rockeye gets up and he's like, "Grr," and she's like, I can't work with him.
I don't like it. Oh, that's gonna be a problem.
No. See, Blythopia, we're not racist like that.
No, his people keep on tearing out our farms. No, he can't be part of the council. I won't do it.
And they
There
fight.
must
I feel like
there must be a diverse group on the council.
Diverse group don't mean that we need him.
Ooh. Carolina, I feel like I can't cheer for you, hon.
I can't fault that line.
Carolina, I defer to Blythe.
Carolina.
Are you saying he's got to go back?
In Blythopia, we are
building a wall.
an inclusive people.
If we so inclusive, why'd you put them underground? You got a couple people from the back.
That's a good question. That's where
We like it under there.
That is where they preferred to be. That is where they chose to live.
But it also makes for a better, more broadened council.
Alright, so we got Carolina.
Stop making Carolina racist. I swear to God.
She sits back down.
She's gonna be sent out of the town.
Dude.
I was here back when it was Samacon. We didn't have no Blythe running around leading us.
Ooh, don't say that. Ooh.
I think
I think Carolina, we're gonna have to sit down with her, and
you're gonna get murdered.
She's gonna get suicided by Hillary Clinton.
Carolina didn't kill herself.
Suicided by Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton.
Those of us who were there would like to remind you what was going to happen to this town before Blight and the rest of us showed up.
I just like to point out, Carolina looks very happy, so if she ends up with a note,
okay.
I'll whisper over to Blythe.
Carolina killed.
Carolina cannot be in the
We're-
church. We need to roll a new name.
Make him run the
Are you
opposite
gonna?
course.
Carolina.
that's my option.
Unfortunately, a decision has been made, Carolina. Your name has now been removed. You are no longer part.
Carolina got beat.
A couple people get up from the table and walk outside as she leaves.
Racism isn't allowed on the board.
All right, Robert. Your name's been removed too.
I swear to God, Shane, if you have people usurp me,
Say Blobber.
Blobber?
Blobber.
Say Blobber.
Robert.
You said Blobber. Don't even fucking try and backtrack.
Blobber. No, he said blobber.
And Blobbert is his name now. You must call him Blobbert.
Twice now.
He said Blobbert twice.
Blobbert is Robert's twin brother. There's two of them.
Okay.
I feel like Blobbert.
Finish your fucking list.
I'll proceed to call a few more names. We have an Earth Elemental, two more humans from Sumakot,
Brevity that's prime.
a giant.
Yo, for real.
A giant? Do we have giants in our
Do we
town?
have giants in our town?
There is like 2 or 3 fire giants that live in the
So
town.
sure, one of them.
You know what? Yes, we have an Earth Elemental, maybe like a tiefling from the fire plane. We have some of those, correct? In our
Potentially,
slates.
sure.
Like they're part of my family, right? They're
Alright, so
tieflings in the fire plane.
chosen.
Yeah, there's a council of
You
5.
have been chosen.
There's 5 people that are handling the council. Got it.
Only 5.
Done and done.
Everyone else has to.
They have the right to veto people off if they need to, and Jogger is in charge of selecting new people should it come. I hand him the bin.
He's relatively. He
Of
looks similar,
selection.
like in age, kind of to Torok. He's kind of in the younger mid to late 20s in appearance. Very, very slender, very, very well dressed, but he does have these burn marks on his wrist from where he was previously shackled. As he gets handed this jar of names, he looks and he goes, "I will take my position with the level of seriousness that was put into the selection of the council that is before me." As he begins walking off.
No one likes his body pad.
Hey, in Blythtopia, we are a fair and just people. That's why Carolina has to take on council.
That's why Carolina had to go through the obstacle course.
Carolina's gonna get suicided.
Talk about some barnacles yet?
So,
Let's yell
Her
at
name's
him.
Carolina Absinia.
what else are you guys doing?
Watching an old lady.
Let's go.
She's not doing the goddamn obstacle course.
I feel like
She needs to repent.
Well, aren't we supposed to go out to some farmers or some shit now?
Yeah, we're gonna visit the Johannes brothers.
Let's go to the Jonas
Get
Brothers
some-
and go
get
visit
some
the-
info.
Let's go visit the Jonas.
I just want to get info about, like, if there's any other tellings of any other gates opening, or, you know, is there someone who's trying to rise up and take over other countries? Like, I need to know things.
They're gonna rise again.
So it's like midday. You guys' meeting takes about an hour and a half.
So it's like
2 hours.
1:30.
It's like 1:30, 2 o'clock. You
All right.
guys are gonna go to the farming area and try and find the Johannes brothers.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for the 4 guys that weren't at the meeting.
There's,
Three of them.
Hey, you know Johannes brothers?
there's more than that. There's
Jonas
four.
Brothers.
yeah, there's 4, and there's more than
And
that
there's
weren't there.
three.
Johannes.
Jason.
So I'd like to see the Johannes
Yeah, a
brothers.
luscious head of hair, don't they? All of them.
Kevin.
You see 4 men that are out in the field. There's several groups of people that are out in the fields kind of working this area, but there's
Bruce now.
4 of them that seem to be working relatively close together.
You're like, excuse me, you happen to be the Johannes brothers.
Relatively taller,
All right, don't flex
Rel-
on me, dude.
relatively large man, kind of turns bald head.
Short enough.
Here.
And he looks at you and he goes, "Name's Reagan.
Reagan.
I'm the eldest. What can I help you
You
with?"
mean
I'm
Kevin?
gonna put my hand out.
You shake your hand.
Ketra. We hear your recent implants to Blythtopia.
They took us in. We're very grateful to All Majesty and the rest of the town.
All right. We're just trying to gather some information. We're trying to get to the city of Locke via the cloud steps, and don't know if you've come from that way or in your travels you've seen anything odd recently.
From kind of the basic portion of the tier mounts, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Something took nest up near our town.
What kind of something?
Didn't get a good look at it. Forest got fogged. Couldn't see much and people began disappearing.
Fog?
Like a thick kind of fog. Yeah. Just lingering.
Okay.
Ever-present mist.
Got it. What is your town name?
Back when there were still people there?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Feel on.
Feel now? Can you write that down?
Jot it down.
Vapor links are at the bottom of the tier mounts.
Oh. What was the name?
Just a
Thick fog and people start disappearing.
Thick fog with 2 C's.
doozies.
3 C's.
Wait, what am I? What am I writing?
There was thick fog at the bottom of the tier mounts,
2 C's.
3.
and people started disappearing, and now there's no longer a town. That's the gist so
That's
far?
the gist of it.
And what portion of the tier mount
That's the southern tip right before you begin cascading into the Sapphire Sea.
So that was just the tip where this fog is?
It climbed up most of the mountain range. Probably a good 10 to 20 mile range.
Okay.
Thank you.
Forest relatively impenetrable though.
Right.
It seems like it's constantly moving and shifting.
Right, it's a new forest. Any other... I mean, how did you and your family manage to escape?
Something came into the town at night. We heard some screams and we ran. You are children. Physical fucking children.
And you said you hadn't gotten a good look at all.
No, we heard screams. I took my younger brothers and ran.
How long
Took a
ago
cart.
was that?
Probably about 3 months, maybe 4. We took a cart, a horse, rode south,
3 more
crashed.
months. Wait, is Eric among the new people?
I'm not acknowledging you.
Someone that said that's impenetrable.
I'm trying.
Do you have any more of that oil you put on the roof?
I'm really excited for Star Wars, where I don't have to deal with half the people here. You guys are killing me.
I can't wait to play that one either. You know what I get to say?
Nothing. I roar a lot.
What do you think's gonna happen during Star Wars?
It's gonna get worse. It's gonna be so much fucking worse.
We're just gonna shout things at you like, do it!
Do you mean...
Do it!
Are you looking to arrest me, Master Jack?
my brother!
I just don't want to anymore. They explained they took a cart, rode it basically into the water, and then drifted here.
In the car?
Mm-hmm. They just tried to get away from whatever it was.
I hate water, it's wet and it gets everywhere.
I don't like water. It's like sad.
Is water wet?
That's what you're headed for.
Water is wet.
So it took them 3 months.
She's dead.
Cool. Anything
That
else
really
you can?
kills
Any
the
other
spirits
nuggets you can give us?
For the sake of brevity, do we want it to be tomorrow?
Y'all die in your sleep.
Good.
There's a plague rolling through town you weren't prepared for.
Let me get out that backup character.
A little coronavirus rolling through.
Joke's on you. I don't die from these.
That's topical.
So,
Okay. So
anything else you guys want to do for the day?
no, I'll bring that information and. Okay, let's prepare as much as we can.
Right.
We'll move in and we'll teleport in the morning. I need to still figure out what's going on with the Phoenix Egg.
Yeah, you should probably deal with that.
Is there anywhere around what we can take it to throw it in a volcano?
I don't know.
What happens when a phoenix doesn't
Incubate and live?
rebirth itself?
Probably dies.
Okay, and what does that do for the material plane?
The entire light of the material plane would disappear.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look up.
Hey, I figure you people can probably survive a little time without light, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna look up on it. Does it seem darker yet?
It's the presence of fire would disappear, not light. Light is power.
Do you all survive off fire? Is it important to you?
Nope.
Yes, very.
I mean,
Not to me.
I mean, my whole sword is fire.
I'm literally.
In other words, it might be important to keep that phoenix alive then.
okay, well,
I guess.
I'm gonna work on that. I'll just,
probably shouldn't put that one on the Pinterest board.
no, it's gotta be on the immediate one.
Yeah. So, like, are there any volcanoes around here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna check on the on Orion and the egg.
He's just burrowed himself down.
What about in the ocean? I wouldn't come across any sea volcanoes.
You-
My struggles
A
against the
sea
swing.
vent?
You might, but you have no idea where you were in the ocean as you were roaming around for 2 years.
Well played. Well played.
Touche.
Can we call them old fishy friends?
Dead.
So,
That's what I'm gonna try to spend the rest of my day doing is trying
the
to figure
town
out
meeting
how to
ends, people disperse themselves back through the city.
survive.
How hot can Alma get?
Real hot for him.
I don't know.
Do you
I don't know
think?
yet.
Just play.
Do you think she'd want the child with you?
Whoa.
She doesn't like me like that, I think. She thinks I'm ugly.
Does she?
Yeah, she tells me all the time.
She's really possessive.
She is.
I don't know. There's some mixed signals there, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I can wait, but she's gonna wake up tomorrow. I can ask her.
Yeah, sure.
At least give us some. At least get some information. What's doing there, bud?
I don't have a pencil to fiddle with, so I'm just trying to keep my hands
Break the
busy.
microphone.
Play with springs.
So I'm gonna spend the rest of my time trying to check on the Phoenix egg. I'm gonna kind of camp out there, pray, meditate. Push-ups.
Can I go with catch and see if I can but create some sort of device.
Explain to me where Tyr would have the knowledge to A, create a device, and B, what device are you attempting to create?
Just a tube with a hole, like kind of like a chimney with a hole down here and one up here, and then an entry that can be sealed with a rock. So air comes in, air goes out. Let's check that at a high temperature.
Is it going to be a high enough temperature to be equivalent to the sun?
No.
Sounds like you're wasting a whole lot of time there.
Where are we going to get the temperature of the sun here on Earth?
Just give me another day. Ask my girlfriend.
If Phoenix ash is the temperature of the sun,
this whole place is destroyed.
No. How did we survive the ash we kicked up? The last
Was it hot last time you touched it?
I suppose
The
not.
Phoenix,
No.
I mean, why would the Phoenix ash not be hot?
Was there an egg there?
Does it remain the temperature of the sun?
No.
Was there a phoenix there?
No.
But the Phoenix ash is what incubates the egg,
Until
not the
what?
live Phoenix. So
So
that,
it births itself.
You all with the knowledge.
so long as the Phoenix ash is there, the Phoenix ash has to stay hot to incubate the egg. How long is the incubation period for the Phoenix egg?
He didn't tell
Phoenix, I know Dumbledore was fucking with, so I don't know.
10?
What's the Dumbledore?
Double down.
That's the thing. If the Phoenix ash is what incubates the egg, it will stay hot as the temperature of the sun.
Right, but we don't have Phoenix ash.
But is it also?
Well, how did we survive it the first?
Yeah, we're past that. Is it also impossible for the Phoenix to not be reborn?
I don't know. I can ask Alma when she wakes up.
Because that's going to
What happens if we reduce the egg to
I would think that would point things in a particular direction.
The dead one.
Okay. So that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of the night.
Okay, anybody else do anything else for the rest of the day?
Can. We tried to.
Anyone else do anything for the rest of the day?
Were we going into overnight?
Yeah.
So we about to.
Long rest?
Yeah. I mean, I'll shoot another prayer, see what happens. Kind of commune with the high priest there. That is a 16.
You can send a message, but it's not going to be a full conversation.
Lock? Question mark? Question mark?
Hello?
Nudes.
I want to up my level of gyrating too when he's done with that.
Yes.
gyrate.
Yeah. What I want to do, well, no, you go ahead. You do your thing.
Alright.
You got a plan.
Hey, it's me, your boy.
Yep.
The proper way to start a message.
Yeah,
It is.
right. Of course.
For you.
You know, trying to stay connected here with my god folk.
Yeah, that's great. What up? Fight milk.
That's it? Alright.
Say what up, fight milk?
Alright.
Just 3 dudes hanging out.
Give it a shot.
I'm gonna up my level. Going out to the outskirts of town. I'm gonna start a fire around myself, about 5 to 10 feet distant. I'm gonna start gyrating.
So, Catcher, you see Ted starting a fire in the desert, dancing to himself.
I remember when he used to call other people like chicks and kittens.
Try to roll it.
Those were the days. It's cursed.
A plus, not much. 1.
Does not seem that your new prayer system is working as well as you were hoping.
Well, I'm gonna keep gyrating.
Blythe, Torok, what are you guys doing?
what we do.
I foresaw something really great happening tonight, so what really great thing do we want to go do?
They can start.
Maybe you had a brain blast about what to do with the egg. And you roll a natural 20 on an intelligence check.
Yeah, but I think I have to do something. I can't just say, oh, I suddenly knew it.
Well, yeah. You can watch me gyrate and get inspiration.
No, thank you.
That's doing something.
I don't know. I don't know how to do that without just feeling like I'm just cheating the game.
Also, getting a natural 20 doesn't mean that you just gain information that you wouldn't have.
Right.
Like, you can't just say, "Oh no, I just know this now."
At least a tip in the right direction. Jesus.
Here's a tip in the right
I
direction.
don't want my natural 20.
Okay, no, you don't want to use it there. Okay.
The tip in the right direction is gonna say, take it to the Ember Isles.
You guys can't just assume that a natural 20 gives you information that doesn't exist in your head.
That's fine. Information, not the answer.
You know what? I want my natural 20 to go to tonight's prayer. It's just fantastic. It's the most beautiful sound that anyone's ever heard.
I can hear it on the Oscars too.
You got this really good, gravelly, rocky sound.
It's so harmonious tonight. The entire ground rattles as we all connect together.
Next morning comes around. You guys meet for breakfast in the town?
No.
No? What are you doing?
Praying over, my ritual of Griswold Zama. Zama awake.
Not yet.
It's a full 24 hours. Like, it has to be on the dot when she went down. Okay. How's the egg doing?
It's engulfed in fire. That's the best you can tell.
Ask Orion. Good? Bad? Is it dropping in temperature?
Cold.
Okay, he's getting cold. I'm gonna look at the arm because I saw the arm intake the phoenix fire. Can I try to figure out how to open it? I'm gonna attempt to figure out if I can, if there's a hatch or something that can.
Doesn't seem to be a hatch or anything. It seems that when you put the hand closer to Orion, it does the kind of glows on the inside a little bit. That's the best you can see.
How do I push it out?
Bear down.
I'm trying to figure it out. All right. Well, I'm gonna pray and try to either concentrate on Griswold. Maybe I can talk to Griswold. Or talk to Fennec. I'm gonna reach out to my bloodline.
Okay. Go ahead and you can roll a religion check. There's a bit of a difficult roll.
You're saying you can certainly try.
I said what I said.
You got that nat 20, right?
Not anymore. I gave it up for a prayer. It was harmonious and beautiful.
Modded 20.
Okay. You reach out through your bloodline, don't get anything back from Griswold, and you get this kind of presence of heat and fire for a moment that kind of lingers.
Fennec. Cousin?
You still feel this heat kind of in the back of your neck, kind of like rising up into the back of your head.
Fennec, I have the phoenix egg and I don't know how to take care of it because it's out of the ashes.
This heat on the back of your neck begins to get hotter, like something's burning you. It just continues to linger and linger, starting to creep down your back now.
Okay. So how do I fix it?
Just sitting there, and this burning starts to get worse. You start hearing this soft, like, this crackling, almost like your skin's burning.
Okay, I feel like my back is burning. I feel like I'm bothering you.
And you all of a sudden feel this impact to the back of your head.
Punch me in the back of the head.
And you hear, "How the hell do you acquire a phoenix egg?"
Mama!
I was gonna say, you got a punch, bro.
I'm really happy that you're back.
Cool. What is this?
So, met Fennec. He was beating up the egg and then, becoming a phoenix and absorbing
Omelet style?
No,
over easy?
No, because the egg's still here. But, it would rebirth and then he'd take the power and then, he kept cycling through it.
He was taking a sacred ash, okay?
Okay, yes. So, you remember Adam, right? We told you. I would assume I would have told her about Adam.
Yes.
We figured that Adam was in the forest where Fennec was.
Okay.
And that it might be a little too dangerous if Adam possessed a phoenix.
Fair.
So I moved the egg because I don't have any experiences with phoenixes. You weren't there.
Do we have anything hot enough to incubate it in?
So far, I have Orion trying to keep it hot, but he's not able to do it.
So no was the answer.
No. So you're right. No was the answer.
No was the right answer. There we go. That's it. That's as far as we need to go.
So the golem arm. It's able to trap in heat, and it took in a bunch of that phoenix heat.
Okay.
I don't know how to open it to maybe push it out.
Do you know it does that?
I don't know.
What if it doesn't do that?
I know.
Not everything's two ways.
Mama, I don't know what to do with this.
We need to put it someplace hotter.
Right. Where? Do you know anything that might be hotter?
Magma? The plane of fire?
Yeah.
Oh, it's ash. Ash is a good option. That's typically where you know the egg would stay.
I know you're being snarky right now.
I'm trying not to be, just woke up.
I'm trying to do good.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to put this somewhere. Besides, I don't have the ashes. The gate's too far away.
Is there any livestock nearby we don't need?
I mean, arguably, maybe. Why?
Well, what does the blade do, sweetie?
It gets real hot.
She kind of pats you on the cheek as she...
Oh.
Good.
That's not gonna burn hot as the sun, though.
Yeah, it does. How long is it going to incubate it for? And then she's going to go away for another 4 days.
So what are you all doing as you wake up in town? Heading to the D&D breakfast? Breakfast.
Yeah, finishing up the rest of the packing and making sure I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I have a question about the brazier. The brazier, can it hold any kind of flame?
Yes, temporarily.
How long is temporarily?
Depending on how hot the flame is, if it would destroy the enchantment.
Service of the sun?
It's going to be close. It might destroy the enchantment. It's only designed to hold a fire elemental.
Right.
And not a hugely overpowered one either.
I need to figure out how to heat up the phoenix egg long enough. Pickles.
So, you all are in town, eating breakfast. Ketra, are you returning to town?
I'm looking for livestock.
Okay. So, you five are seated eating as Ketra doesn't come to breakfast.
Is everyone ready to go today?
Yes. It's about time we find this 8th of ours. Yes.
We have to have 8 people to compete in the tournament.
I thought we don't pick our team, that they pick the team.
No, we don't, but the more people we have on our side is probably better.
How can we be sure they're on our side if they're not part of our...
That's what we're trying to do.
Just because we...
Through our charm and wit.
Okay.
We will...
Raising your eyebrows. Keep doing it. I like it.
Just because we recruit somebody doesn't mean they're necessarily on our side.
Well, sure, that's always a possibility. No one's arguing that, but...
I feel like nobody's...
If one less person who's not the Heavenly Seven has an option to win this thing...
But they might have pull over people that you're, like, trying to be on our team that they're not really on our team.
We've ran into that like several times.
Yes.
We've asked a bunch of people.
Playing devil's advocate.
It's fine. I mean, no one's saying this is a perfect plan.
So, you find there's a decent collection of cattle.
Is there one that looks like it's going to be like maybe slaughtered for lunch? Like I'm going to ask about the cattle or the butcher.
They usually don't eat a lot of these, the cow and stuff like that. Predominantly they do fish. Most of the livestock are used for like eggs and milk and stuff like that.
I'm gonna look at all the cows.
Farmhand's kind of walking out there. Something I can help you with, sir?
No, just my sanity, mate.
All right.
Thank you. I'm gonna go. Nope. I'm gonna go out. I can't kill a cow. I can't kill an innocent cow.
Or you can do.
Like I'm as small as I can.
She just kind of appears and she goes, "Oh, I'm going right back to sleep, huh?"
I don't want to make you go back to sleep. How are we gonna keep the phoenix egg up?
I don't feel like this is the best idea for you either. The tournament's coming up, isn't it, love?
Yes, it is.
You really want to go into the beginning of that without me?
No, of course I don't. But what are we gonna do about the egg?
I mean, is there anybody that could take it someplace for you?
I mean, we can attempt to have someone bring it to the fire plane.
Or back to the ashes.
To the ashes. I don't know, maybe one of the fire genasi. They're traveling to the world tree anyway, right?
I don't know. I've been sleeping.
I'm thinking out loud. It's rhetorical. I'm gonna pose the question to Torok, if I can find Torok after a few moments.
Okay. So you eventually turn up to the inn where everybody's eating breakfast.
Torok, may I borrow you for a moment, please?
Would you like
Sure.
Where do you get mimosas?
Blythe doesn't have alcohol anymore. I'm gonna say mimosa.
It's a blind mimosa. Torok, is there anyone that you trust enough to maybe bring the phoenix back to the ashes? Anyone who could travel underground?
It might be hard for them to find it, but there is a group heading to the world trade that we've decided was going to go check on it.
Have they left yet?
I don't believe so, no.
Can they take it with them?
I could see who's going and find out.
Please.
Yes.
It'd be 2 or 3 earth element, again, say 1 fire, and then 1 of the fire giants volunteered.
Right. Yes, there's actually a fire giant and a fire genasi that headed that way. I could see if they'd be willing to take it.
Do you trust them?
With my life.
Please, I don't need this to fall into the wrong hands.
Understood. Do I trust them?
Yeah. The giants are a little iffy depending on the day, just because
They're cranky.
of the history. But that's more.
But these are all people who
yeah, they're
for
part
whatever
of.
reason joined our family. So.
Yeah, they're a part of your family even when you guys lived in the cliffs. It's just fire giants have always been very much so a like a sore spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So please. So I guess.
I'll go. Okay. I'll take the phoenix egg and
No cows were harmed.
I'll kind of hold it and be like, it's a little cold.
I know.
Put it on like a vein.
Start warming it up a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna walk it down.
And you know, just make sure that it stays hot. And I'm
How big is the egg?
I just I'll get
A little bit bigger than an ostrich egg.
I get concerned.
It'll be okay. My people have raised gem dragons for ages.
I mean, this is a little bit weirder than a gem dragon.
Meh. Same idea.
Just I'd like updates. If that'd be great. Just to know how it's doing.
You're sending your kid to camp.
I'll ask them to take like egg sketches or something for you along the way.
I don't need that. I just need to know how it's doing. Making this weird. Just like if it's getting hotter or I don't know what the time frame is.
It's slightly warmer.
Okay, good.
It's probably heated up a little bit more.
I mean over the course.
Right, I'll let them know that too.
Torok goes and finds this giant, the group that are getting ready to head north. Kind of passes the egg off to them as the giant takes it and basically puts it in a small furnace. Trying to keep it warm.
I'm gonna.
Good luck.
They start marching north.
Head bump them all. Bonk.
I'm gonna debrief Alma on the goal for Locke. About the interaction with Fennec.
Oh, he didn't kill you.
No.
Good.
He was mad.
I assumed you'd be dead.
So did I. But
He didn't want me.
He didn't want you. He spoke very highly of you.
A little hurts. He was the cute one.
Oh,
What?
How?
Tattoos.
Yeah?
I go with her there on that.
Look at my giant branded arm.
Yours are godly. His are sexy.
How?
The marks of the phoenix. She motions down to her burning body. Hello.
I'm all you got right now.
Yeah, for now.
Jesus.
I'll keep that in mind. For when I die, I want to go all the way to the bottom of the ocean.
Be new. Be
That would be,
different.
it would be different.
I can arrange
No
that.
one would find us.
I know a spot.
He knows a spot.
You're very angry this morning.
Yes, I am. You're hurtful.
I was being honest. You told me I need to be more honest, remember?
Yes, to me.
What is this?
I'm cranky when I first wake up. It's been like 60 years since somebody did that.
Did what?
Put me to sleep.
Sorry.
Well, you know, you didn't burn your soul out. No, there's something to say about that. Last
Now
guy
you're
that,
trying to make me feel better.
well, the last guy that did it erupted in flame.
Yikes.
Out the eyes, the mouth, everything was. She does a vestige of herself with like fire wreathing out of her eyes and mouth and kind of body burning and crumples to the ground as she
Wonderful vision.
pops back up and she goes, "See, that wasn't you. Just a new scar right there."
What? I have a new scar?
You have this massive burn mark in your side.
Didn't realize I had that.
Well, it kind of went through when you stabbed yourself in the stomach.
Yeah, okay. Talak. Gonna say that to the party.
Do we know she has landed?
No.
Is there some sort of signal you get?
No. But when we try to cast a teleportation circle, it won't work.
Oh, so it's not like it just opens up
They're returning.
and we start
Skip the napkin.
falling.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Look at it. Look at
It's
it go.
not cool.
That's a
It's not
circle of
cool.
life right there.
It's not cool.
That is the circle of life. It kills us all.
What are they coming out of?
The ceiling.
I literally glued the bitch shut.
So,
Not inside the van,
do we want to try opening the circle then?
There's wires in
You can attempt.
Yes, we can definitely attempt it.
Okay.
Blythe,
Yes.
my majesty, would you be willing to attempt to open up the teleport circle to she?
Sure. I'll cast the.
So you guys walk out to the town square and cast the spell.
I'm gonna go back to think.
So is everybody ready to go? You guys have all the supplies that you want and everything?
So I have
Yes.
all the tier stuff, and then we also have food and rations and
All right.
the haram.
The harumph.
We've created bylaws for our temporary council and how they could effectively remove and replace members should the need
This is
arise.
on the obstacle course.
It would require a vote from majority of the
So
townsfolk.
3/5 of the group have to vote?
No, the townsfolk. The townsfolk vote.
Oh, shit.
The council doesn't vote people off themselves. The entire town has to vote
Okay.
to remove people.
No. Just no.
5/3 is the banking system.
But the council can vote
I think they're debunked.
in a vote
I'm
of
going oof on that.
in a vote of the 4 remaining members. 3 of them can vote to keep the council member on should it be necessary. Checks and balances, something like that.
You go ahead and jot that down, and I'll bring it into there later.
He's gonna try to do super your town.
I know.
I'm trying to put in checks and balances. The Johannes brothers are allowed to come in and beat anyone who causes problems.
Sure.
I don't think Joe's brother would be.
So Blythe begins casting the spell, and you see the runes around the fountain in the center begin to glow, and you see the as the water begins to almost come like a portal.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna step in.
Okay. As Torok steps in, he disappears from your line of sight.
I'll jump in.
I hope it's up.
Ted jumps in and disappears.
Tier?
I'm gonna hop right in.
Can I just poke my head in real quick?
It's not how it works. Your head might get ripped off.
Just say no.
Soda?
You could say no.
You could have said just a no. But
Soda?
you chose not to.
Off I go.
Yeet.
I'm gonna look at Blythe and ready to do this?
Ready as I'll ever be. Jumping.
So as you guys jump in, I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
Any advantages are pulled away from each other?
You guys are.
Oh, sorry. Plus
You guys
Get
are
the +7?
Yeah, you guys get the +7. Everybody gets the +7.
7 for what?
Blythe, you don't need to roll. You fly. Botch.
16.
Ooh.
18.
32.
What?
19 plus 7 plus 6.
Oh, alright. This motherfucker rolling
I got
in the
a
30s.
16 + 7.
Okay. So as you guys come out the gate, the dragon has mounted itself onto the side of a small cliffside, where it kind of nestles itself in to sleep. And as it's wedged up in there, you guys come out and begin sliding down this rock face. Blythe just kind of flying alongside you. You all made a save. So you slide down probably a good 60 to 70 feet to a small little plateau that kind of comes out the side. Oh, yeah. Except for Torok, who goes tumbling end over end to the bottom of the
Sounds
platform.
pretty badass.
Torok, you take 18 points of bludgeon damage
What?
Oof.
as you tumble end over end about
It is
60 to
okay.
70 feet.
I am fine.
Looks like you should have took that obstacle course seriously.
As the dragon eye kind of, you see this ruby kind of crimson eye open up and begin looking at everybody as it slowly begins climbing down.
Hello.
Hello, she.
Hello.
Walks up to you.
She seems obedient still.
But you did discuss that she was going to use.
It's an uncomfortable situation as she kind of rises her head up and looks at you.
I'll go ahead and use my channel divinity. Oh,
see
wait.
magma
I'd like to
dripping out
step
of her
away.
mouth.
I'd like to step 30 feet away.
You're gonna tell your friend to walk away as well.
We should have put the egg
You
in
should
her.
all back away.
I'm gonna step into the side, out of the way of this.
I'm gonna also pull myself and Life and Tira aside.
You should make a dexterity saving throw for me real quick.
Oh, that's first.
Is anybody standing next to Torok?
No.
Hell,
Hard
fuck
pass.
no, you got me fucked up.
You got me.
16.
16. As you begin to use your channel divinity, this torrent of magma just comes pouring out of her mouth across the ground. You sidestep as it just scorches across this this stone.
That was badass.
There is no reason to be angry.
Oh no, I didn't know that was
She
an
rights
option.
herself and
I'm gonna try and cast it again.
okay.
I'm gonna give her a 5.
You motherfucker. I rolled natural 20.
Yes!
As she puts her head down and kind of starts walking towards you and climbs on as your armor.
It's just okay. I know sometimes our anger gets the best of us, she.
Why don't we just remember? Watch the egg.
No.
Oh,
Can you put the
Alright.
egg in the magma she just created?
no.
We don't
I
have
don't have
the
the
egg.
egg.
Where were you? Nothing.
She doesn't always like to,
Magma.
Listen.
listen and do. I mean, she is a sentient creature that does her own thing, and she's also a dragon, so it's a bond we're forming.
Does she like
It's a
gold?
process.
Okay, I get it.
So
Does she like gold?
can we tell the direction of where we are on the class?
Roll a nature check.
That's a gold to your dragon.
Give him guidance.
You could attempt to, but I think she's sleeping.
Just
I didn't have no
ching
gold.
like a rock. From what you guys can see, you're currently you're a decent way up the side of this kind of cliff face on a small plateau that hangs off. Below you see kind of this stretching out field of greens and yellows that kind of blend off into a distance. You really can't see anything else. Some storm clouds kind of rolling through the area.
Do we know where the druids are?
We know what it is.
The southern peak is where the black stags are.
Is that the same direction as these steps?
The cloud steps is the entire mountain chain.
Okay. The druids and the eagle people?
Riders.
Riders? Where are they? Are they
order.
located in the same area
No.
or alright. And we don't know where it is.
Does it want your chair shake?
I think we should start heading towards Locke at least, or do we know
We
the
don't know which way it is.
We don't know
Do
the
I see
No.
any signs of druidism around?
Not up here.
I don't see no druidism around.
This is kind of an off kind of centered piece of stone that's just hanging out that you guys are using as a plateau to stand on.
Oh.
It's you guys are still probably about 100, 150 feet up from where you see these fields kind of start. You're on the side of a cliff face.
Can I get on my flying carpet and just start going up?
If you want to.
And get like a bird's eye view of what's going on.
Okay. So you fly up, roll a perception check.
Based on sight.
You are going into storm clouds and stuff. Oh, my phone went asleep.
Bro, you have a magic carpet.
That's what I got. Yeah, that's what I
He
got
can show you the world.
21.
21. Looking out, you see this kind of expansing fields going out. Your guys are probably, you can see that the mountain range does continue down further south. You kind of get a bearing as to where you guys are. You're on probably the eastern face of this mountain range, but it does continue to go further south. You can't see really how much further. Could be a couple miles, could be a lot longer than that. Your vision doesn't go that far, but you do know you're on kind of towards the southern peak of this mountain, southern end of the mountain range, but you don't know how much further down it goes. Because we guys send her off, you just send her to the cloud steps.
So I'll come back down and relay that information. I don't know how much farther it'll take to get to the Black Stags, but we're relatively headed in that direction.
You guys would be on the west face of the mountain, sorry, not the east. You guys are on the west face of the mountains.
Which is what we were looking for, was to be at the west, right? So, let's start traveling down.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
Other than Blythe, how do you all plan on getting down? And Solomon.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Cool. How much do I weigh?
This fucking guy cooling it.
I assume your guys like what? You're 6 foot.
Yeah.
You're probably about $185, and then probably another 90 pounds armor.
So, 270.
I mean, I assume we brought some kind of rope.
Who's
I think we brought 150 feet of rope.
who's light?
Tier, that's it.
How much do you weigh, buddy?
Not very much. We'll take
My phone's off.
150.
I still can't change it for freaking flying creatures. Man, that's some bullshit.
You're close.
But no cigar.
Nope, not yet. I want to say it's next level druid.
Sounds about
I
right.
think it's 6. What are you throwing?
What was it?
My pen.
Bears.
And DJ.
Can we see how far down
About 150 feet down.
to
150?
what? Just like solid ground, or
Yeah, that'd take you to the bounds.
Tie.
That's not that far, really. For a robot, 150
At
feet.
a 1 degree incline.
150 feet is from here to not that far. To that house across the street.
I'm gonna safely scale down the mountain.
Athletics check.
and if everybody's feeling froggy, I can just cast Featherfall. and
Kind of.
jump.
What, we jump off and we just, how long is Featherfall?
Are you down
last?
there?
A minute.
You down at the bottom?
And then,
I did a long rest, so
Are you down at the bottom?
No, he's on his magic carpet flying around you.
Oh.
I'm just hovering
Okay, hey, Solo Man.
menacingly.
Solo Man.
What's up, Ted?
If I
Why
jump off-
menacingly?
Just because I can.
21.
Okay, so you start climbing down.
If I jump off, are you gonna feather fall me or let me drop?
No, I mean,
I just want to know because we gotta back and forth going.
I got you, buddy. This isn't training.
All right, we'll jump off.
Okay. Ted just runs and leaps from the side.
Swan dive.
I follow Ted's lead, watching
okay.
Solomon getting ready to cast a spell,
All right. Oh,
and I jump.
I hate you.
Okay.
Cast Featherfall.
It's what, 3 targets?
4?
Nah, it's like 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
There's 3.
Stand by.
That's why I jumped, because I didn't cast on multiple people.
Well, yeah, I know you can upcast it.
I thought you were trying to disrupt something and make it funny. Either way.
No.
No, choose up to 5.
So, over the course of the next few minutes, you all slowly descend down to the base of the mountain range.
Are we following like the Mario Brothers feather? Like,
Except for Catcher, who physically climbed his way down.
Yeah.
So you guys all make it to the bottom. Have to wait a few minutes for Catcher to make it down there.
How's
So-
the climbing, buddy?
where's the rest of you?
It's a good warm up.
So before we
I'll catch ya.
delve into the Lockarian Plains, City of Lock, and everything else like that, let's call it for the night because my phone is dead and I can't do the giveaway. I think we only had like 3 people enter. So,
Really white. What's it?
yeah, I don't know. It's the lights; they just hit wrong.
I mean, like albino.
Yeah. But all right, thank you all so much for watching. We will be back Wednesday potentially for Waterdeep and Storm King's Thunder that morning. So, bye. Anthony, you gotta turn on TV, buddy. You gotta turn everything off.
Bye.
Yeah, well,
If we don't talk, they don't know that we're still alive.
we're moving.
Just act like we cut the audio. Like,
If
you don't have to make it so obvious that we're still here.
You would also hear.
Oh,
the
sorry.
chairs
Okay, the
moving.
audio's cut. Ready?
Now we can see all the terrible.
Trackball.
Is that how we pretend the audio's cut?
Like,
Hey, Mussolini, stop it.
do like the Jeopardy send off.